What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Carlotta Chat with Show. Okay, so tonight I decided to give y'all a show. I had some hot topics I need to talk about, and I had a few moments, like a little bit to do to give y'all a little show, a little time. Oh my goodness, man! So much stuff is happening in the, so many interesting topics and subjects are happening in the news today. And so we're gonna talk about a few hot topics and stuff that I've seen out there this week. A lot of y'all are talking about this alienation of affection law. This is an old law. Remember, I don't know if y'all remember, it's an old law. It's only on the book, I think, in 6 states. And they're mostly, I think they're kind of Bible Belt states or something like that. But these laws are on remember, if you guys remember back in the day, remember Fantasia had the reality show and she was dating the guy, I forget his name, Cook, I think was his name, and she had a relationship with him, and he was separated from his wife, or they were and a lot of people. I'm going to talk about why. This is part of the reason why I think those laws are antiquated. And yes, I'm married, and I'm telling y'all, I think those laws are antiquated, and and if they're going to stay on the books in those states, I think they really have to have a reworking of those laws. But yeah, they almost got Fantasia for this many years ago. There was a full lawsuit, probably for what happened with this young lady, and the reason why I think this young lady lost her case. This case that's been in social media. A lot of I hear she represented herself. That was not smart. She should have gotten lawyers, and she probably would have gotten, because you don't know all the things to do, like discovery and all these things, and put people on people. I mean, that's probably why Fantasia won this court case, because North Carolina hasn't taken it off the books yet, but a lot of states know it is an old and antiquated law, and as soon as somebody comes up and challenges it enough, it will be gone. And I know most wives don't like to hear that, because we're in the era of in America, the era of either taking things out on people. It's a weird era we're in. I feel that we've learned so much about relationships and marriages and love, that we should know now that nobody is responsible for ruining your marriage. Do they help add to that? Maybe. Yes, at some point. But really, marriage comes down to two people. No matter how you feel about it, no matter how you think about it, marriage comes down to two people. So, and what happens if it's several women? So yeah, so we're going to talk about this tonight. Let's just, I don't. Let me think. Do I have it's a word for y'all this week? My it's a word. You know what I did? I saw something on Facebook that I wanted y'all to see. Hold on, let me see if I can bring it up. Let's see. Okay. There was something I wanted y'all to see before we get into this talk about alienation of affection and all of these things we're going to get into we're going to talk about in a minute. So let me see. I discovered this great band. I did not know. I think they've been out for a long time. It's Young Gun and Silver Fox. Oh my God. I happened to be out somewhere, and I heard the song come over the thing, and I was like, oh my God, you know how you take your phone out and you have your phone listen to it. So I didn't have my phone out, and I think me and my husband was at lunch or something. I said, could you take that? I said, could you put that up in the air? And because the song was on, and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't focus because the song was so good. And I said, and he told me who it was, and I was like, oh, okay. I said, I gotta go look them up. And so I put a song in, like I pulled them up on my Apple streaming, and so I could go back and visit later, to listen to her music. And so I love to listen at night because I'm a night owl. So I love to listen to music and stuff at night if I'm doing things, or if I'm doing errands, doing my homework or something like that. I always have music in my ear. I'm a music girl. So yeah, and I listened to them and I was floored. I mean, so awesome. What an awesome band, man. And they had elements of like Earth, Wind and Fire, elements of different bands, like different. Oh my God, I enjoyed them so much, so much. Young Gun, Silver Fox. I mean, I'm new to them, but wow. I was like, I gotta go see them in concert wherever they're at. I mean, I even saw one of their live things, and it looks like they have like it's. I mean, they do it up. So yeah, pretty cool. I loved that. It was really good. Okay, yeah. So getting back to y'all, um, for y'all, it's a word. I don't know. I'm trying to go back to what your it's a word. I think this week my show on about people giving people too many things to you and everything. So I saw this man talking about access. I really like this. And so I'm gonna put this up for your it's a word, I think, this week. And I think I like this. This is from what did I see this on? It was on TikTok, and it's renewed with faith. Okay, TikTok. Okay, renewed with faith, and I really love what he had to say. Okay, so take a listen here. Let me see, get you guys so I can share it for you guys so you guys can hear. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're gonna get this right. Okay, so let's see here. Let me get this. I'm still learning this thing, y'all. Okay. Somebody was telling me the other day, said, Carlotta, you didn't tell us you're on YouTube. Yes, I did. I know I haven't been ever putting it out that much, but it's because I've been trying to work on the other thing I want to do. I was supposed to shut it down completely, but so many hot topics coming up, and I didn't want to. Some of y'all was asking me what I thought about it, so I thought, I better come on and say what I think. Okay, but and so yeah, I'll probably do more with it next year. Okay. Okay, this is this TikTok I want to share with you guys. Okay. Okay, I thought this was so good, and it's renewed with faith. It's on TikTok, and he was talking about learn to guard your heart. Not everyone you meet deserves access to it, and I thought this was so good. Okay, very, very, very good. So, let me play this for y'all. Get this up on so y'all can see it, and. So I got it right, y'all. Okay, I'm trying to get it up for you guys to see. Can we do it big? Okay, there's a new layout, and so I'm trying to understand it, y'all. So just give me a second. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's go so you guys can see this one. Okay, really good. Hopefully, I got it up, the volume, everything. Okay, let's go for it so y'all can hear it. Oh goodness, hold on. Okay, now we'll go back to the beginning.
When people around me, I'll be feeling what's on them. They don't even know. Shake their hand. Won't be their friend. Because you owe everybody love. You don't owe everybody access. Now, I don't owe you that. Your motives ain't right. I don't owe you access. I owe you love. I don't owe you access. Access got to be earned. through consistency and faithfulness and godliness. We don't owe nobody access. We only owe you love. Stop letting your heart be a freeway for every single person. Your heart ain't no freeway. You got to know how to watch what the Bible says. Guard. You guard it with the word. You guard it with prayer. You guard it with discernment. You guard it with accountability.
I love that. Okay, guard your heart. This is something that I had to really learn about just all the time because I'm one of those people who, but I am, no, I've always, no, I'm a Scorpio. I can't lie to y'all. I'm a Scorpio. I have always been on guard, even when I'm very kind to you. You know what I'm saying? I can be very nice, but I'm always on guard about people. I've always had, but there are times where I will let people in that I shouldn't let in. Well, I will know that I shouldn't let them in. I'll be like, I don't trust it, but I'll go ahead and do it. I'll give people access. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, and that's probably with the way I was raised as a child and everything, growing up in my grandparents' house. And I was talking about a friend about this the other day. And we were talking about, I was saying how, I realized that, where I used to didn't think, my, that being raised, having what my parents, not raising me didn't really, I mean, I thought I was good, and I think I am still, but I do realize that I did have some, I think, things that came out of that I didn't realize as a child. Sometimes I would be like, very, a, I was, maybe there was a sense of in my head is like, probably as a kid, I was deducing if these parents aren't here. So I don't want these parents, I have to go. And so I would probably be overcompensating a lot with people, overcompensating, being overly kind, overly nice, overly trying to be a good girl, overly trying to be this and that. And so I think, that set the tone for me sometimes to ignore my instincts or ignore my uh, uh sometimes when I didn't think right of people or something like that. But for the most part though, I tend to be very good at this now. Sometimes not, especially where I thought I had a bad problem is in years later. And I didn't have a bad problem for long in dating, I pretty much knew who everybody was. You know what I'm saying? Out there in relationships. But there are so many women that do not have discernment when it comes to their love life, their friendships, relationships, men too. And so it is important what he said. Everybody deserves, I don't even say love, because love has to be earned to me. So I would say kindness. You owe everybody kindness and to treat them right, but you don't owe them access. I totally agree with that. And I remember the other day I was telling one of my friends, I said, I was somewhere and I said I have to be careful because I'm so friendly. Sometimes I'm friendly, sometimes I'm not, but sometimes I'm so friendly that I try to embrace everybody, but everybody doesn't like that. That guy said sometimes I go back to that child and I try to be making everyone comfortable, but everybody, making everybody comfortable doesn't mean you have to give them access to you, So that is what I'll say on that. So I thought that was really good. And that's y'all, it's a word tonight. Okay. All right. So, and I think later on, we'll talk about some things about, because I want to talk about, I guess I think I might talk about a little something about customer service later on. I don't know. I had something that I wanted to talk about with customer service. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll talk about it later. Or y'all know, I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. Okay. All right, you guys. Okay, moving on to this alienation of affection. Okay. Wow, this was interesting this week. Okay. It was a woman who was sued, a TikToker, okay, for stealing another woman's husband. Now, I thought this was interesting. Okay. Let me see. If I can bring it up. Okay, y'all. Y'all know, see, y'all got to bear with me tonight. Okay, let me pull it up. Okay, a TikToker was sued and she was found liable of 1.75 million after an affair. Okay. Um, let me let you guys hear this. Now, a lot of women, let me say this, a lot of women get caught up because a lot of women today, and it's not just women, men, women, and everything. We don't look at full dynamics of relationships. A lot of times we look at people and say, "Oh, they did this, they deserve this, they deserve this, this is they deserve that." Da, 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 da. And I don't think that's all. I believe that's not always the case. Okay, it's not always the case that, um, and I believe in a marriage that the only two people that are held accountable within a marriage. Yes, people can come in and interfere in your marriage. Yes, people can come in and interfere in your love life and everything like that. But that is only because of you two. That marriage comes down to two people. That's my belief. It comes down to two people. Even if somebody came in with the most manipulative tactics, the most manipulative ploys, it comes down to two people deciding it. If one of the spouses or one of the people gets lured away, unless you got lured away by gunpoint, or unless you got lured away by some sort of psychotic drug or something that somebody was drugging you or something like that. Other than that, something that you did that you didn't have no free will in. That's if you didn't have no free will. Okay, that's a different story. But if you have free will in these relationships, it is not anybody. It's not the other woman's problem. Yes, you can go and speak. Speak to the other one. Try to get some understanding. Try to ask them this and that. But I really don't believe in that. To be honest, I used to think when I was young that was a good idea. I used to think that, girl, you need to go talk to her, tell her, blah blah. But I don't. I think that there should, you can go and talk to the person just so you can see what's up, so you can know what's up. Because sometimes there are other women that will talk to you and let you know what's up with your spouse and how your spouse is behaving, or other men who will let you know what's up or something like that. But men, it's a very different story in those affair relationships and stuff like that. What I will say is, when there's another one, I always say it really isn't the other woman that needs to be held accountable. It is the other man. It is your spouse. Okay, that's just that ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And that is that on that. Okay. But I'm gonna let y'all listen to this. This is from WRAL. And they're talking about this case. Let me see. Okay, we'll get this up here. Okay, let y'all see. Okay, here we go.
A TikTok star and a $1.75 million verdict that nearly ended with a fight outside the Durham County Courthouse. That was not the fight. That was the joy inside the courtroom. We're talking about the case of North Carolina TikToker Brene Montague. She was sued by her now husband's ex-wife. Tonight, a jury found Montague liable for destroying the couple's marriage. WR's Eric Miller was in court and has the story.
That's the sound of a $1.75 million cheer, coming just moments after court was adjourned. Akira Montague embraced her attorney, Robinetta Jones, as dozens of supporters yelled from the sidelines.
She has received justice from losing her husband and the father of her children.
Akira Montague's lawsuit, filed in Durham County Court, accuses Brene Montague, an influencer with nearly 3 million followers on TikTok, of seducing and having an affair with her then husband, Tim. That affair then turning to marriage when Brene and Tim wed. In the suit, Akira Montague claimed Brene used her online influence as a weapon. The affair also caused damage to her health and deprived her kids of a two-parent household.
And it was nothing but lies.
Brene Montague, who represented herself in court, slammed the verdict, saying Akira Montague knew her marriage was over and allowed the affair.
She gave her consent. She said it was okay because she knew her marriage was over with and it was done.
But the jury didn't agree. awarding Akira Montague the $1.75 million after more than 700 pieces of evidence were presented in court, including some of Brené's own TikToks and texts.
That says that my client was telling the truth.
The case hinged on two rarely used laws, including alienation of affection.
It can be very hard to prove, and the reason is because it's hard to find a point in a relationship where the relationship necessarily started to go bad.
But in these videos and in the court testimony, the jury found that point, leaving Brené Montague with a hefty bill and no answer on how she'll pay.
I don't know, but she'll probably never see it.
An affair?
Okay, well, here's the thing, and she doesn't seem, I mean, she doesn't seem very likable or very sorry, but here's the thing that a lot of y'all have been saying. They were good friends. She had this woman in her house. And if you guys can remember about the case of Fantasia, a lot of people thought, let me tell you what people thought. And this is just a thought. This is what people were saying out there. This is not facts. This is just what people were thinking. A lot of people thought they set Fantasia up because Fantasia was, because he went back to his wife right after she sued. Remember that? Y'all remember, or something like that, or something happened like that. And a lot of people saying, damn, they set her up. This is why this law is antiquated, because people can't do this, especially if they were friends and they got together. And even if he married you, people can set it up to where you win that money, they win that money from you, and they move on. A lot of women were cheering this in court. And I just feel like women are in such a place today that they're not understanding. A lot of women, and I get this and I understand this and I empathize, because I can't sympathize because I don't have children, but I empathize that women, there comes when women have children, they are so invested into relationships and marriages that they lose sight of, yes, you become one biblically and everything. And it should be till, death will do us part. But often, sometimes that is not the case. And it's hard to understand that even in this unit where there is one unit together, one couple together, and you're acting as one person in the world, that you're still individuals and you still can make individual choices that have detriment to your marriage. And I think women have a problem. A lot of women, because you invest so much. And a lot of women, let me tell you something. A lot of women know these men ahead of time. That's why I say I'm big on women taking responsibility today, because a lot of women have delusioned themselves. A lot of women chased some of these men, not all of these men, but some of these cheaters y'all been chasing, and y'all marry them. Y'all know they cheaters. Y'all know they not good, no good men, and y'all do this, and then y'all get mad when another woman comes along, and you always knew he was like that. But you delulued yourself, okay? That's some women. And then there are some situations where it's a horrible ending and all those things. But no matter what, this woman lost this case because she didn't get a lawyer. That's what I think. When I heard represented herself, I was like, okay, that's why you lost, because because they were able to pull out. The other girl went and got a lawyer. It was not smart. If you have a business, and if the man mean that much to you, let me just say, if you in one of these 6 states, I'm gonna show these 6 states too. But let me say before I say this, if you have a business, a TikTok business, and you have that many followers, that many people, and you're making all kinds of money, you need a lawyer. Not only do you need a lawyer, and she looks like she's stubborn and you can't tell her nothing. And people probably, she did, you know what I'm saying? But just because she's not likable doesn't mean that I think the law, and she did something wrong, I think the law should be used in this way. Okay, I don't. And I know women are going to say that I feel like I'm blaming them. But what I'm saying is, women, you invest so much, I think there comes a sense of ownership. You think you own somebody, and you do not. They've taken a vow to you, and that person has taken a vow, and you've taken a vow to them. But people are free. People can listen. That's why it is so important. And I know, listen, people evolve and change. There can be massive changes that happen within marriages and things like that. Get it. Massive evolutions can take place. Most marriages have ended before they started. Most marriages have ended before they started because of people don't recognize motives. They haven't done enough communication. They haven't done this. They haven't done that. They haven't really. There is motives that people don't know of. Some people are so desperate to get married, they overlook things. They overdo this and this and that, and this and that, and those things come back within a course of a marriage to bite you. And you can survive. Sometimes you can survive it. Sometimes you can't. And so what happens is a lot of people, it's such a desperation to get married and start investing. Women don't pay attention to the red flags. And it's mainly women, a lot of women this happens with. You're not paying attention to the red flag. And so when the man has left with another woman or he's left you for another woman, you're left holding a bigger bag than what you should be holding. And so you feel the need is, she took my husband. She did this. She did that. She did not take your husband. This girl did not take that woman's husband. She might have seduced him, whatever, but he left free will. He left free will on his own. And I just think giving these kind of lawsuits and letting women get 1.5 or play games, it just sets your mind back. It sets you back into thinking you are starting to think this woman is at the whole fault for your marriage. And it does not promote a sense of growth for you to start looking at not only, okay, how did this marriage come apart? It doesn't promote growth so that you can get into, so when you're in the next marriage, because now you think, no, the woman's at fault. You sued a woman in North Carolina saying she is the reason for your marriage ending. So that's what you believe. But I don't believe that. I believe there was probably a number of things beforehand that you guys seen, that you saw and he saw, and that you guys probably put it on the rug. And when you bring in other people into a marriage already, and you have, like they said, a lot of people were saying that they were good friends. I don't know if this is true. On TikTok, they hung around each other all the time and stuff like that. Now, most of my friends' husbands and my husband and friends like that, my friends are gathered around. Yeah, they say hi, blah, blah, blah. They don't want to be around that all the time. They don't want to be around. They ain't want to hang out with, they hang out every now and then, but they ain't want to hang out with my girlfriends all the time. They ain't want to be around them every day. Now, every now and then they might do something. He might hang out. He might do something. And my friends' husbands might come hang it out. Like, I got one friend husband, he get on the phone with us and laugh and talk to us, but he ain't doing that all the time. He don't want to be bothered with me and her cackling and talking and everything like that. Most husbands don't want to be in all that. They don't want to hear. So it's a red flag already when he around you and her every day. Every time y'all together, if y'all best friends, and that's a red. So if that was happening, there's a lot of things going on there, okay? And I don't think that's one thing at fault. I think you give too much access to anyone, you could cause a situation. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think this is an antiquated law. It needs to be either off the books in North Carolina, and I hope somebody comes to challenge these laws. Women, I don't think these laws do you any good. I know you think you get back revenge on the other woman, and you get back revenge, and it looks good, but it stops you from growth. And what I mean by it gives you another person to blame than to look at the relationships that you've gotten into, the choices you've made, and how these relationships fall apart. So now you're looking at this outsider as the reason for your marriage ending. But that's not the reason. That 1.75 million, and I know people is out here talking about, please, honey, girl, I take that 1.5 million. Fuck having them bitches cheating. And no, I know that because a lot of people would like to stay. They would love spiritual decline instead of spiritual growth. Her $1.75 million of her money is not going to bring your husband back. And if you even get it, you've spent money on a lawyer, because she's going to probably challenge that law, and hopefully this time she goes to get a lawyer, not represent herself. And you are going to end up paying out and spending months more of your life arguing about this woman taking somebody that you probably should be glad is gone. And a lot of women, a lot of times, this is what happens with women. I remember I had a relative that used to always say the reason she stayed with one of my relatives, and he was horrible to her. And she said over the years, it's my kids, it's my kids. And then one day when I got older, has an older young lady, and she was talking to me about it. And I looked at her, I said, it ain't them kids, child. Them kids is about 15, 14. I said, child, it's you. You like them. Don't be blaming these kids. These kids ain't the reason. I said, as a matter of fact, you've probably done more damage to your children by acting like it's you wanted to be with him just because of your kids. And that's one of the things that this woman said in the case. She said that, it made her sick. She was left with 2 kids and all this stuff like that. Well, you shouldn't be left with 2 kids. He should be paying for your 2 kids. You should be, because listen, one of the things you can do, one of the situations when he marries her, then it's no loss. They're gonna have to share them child support bills. What? I don't understand this alienation of affection law. When you can do this, when I don't think you should sue third parties. Sue it's your spouse that left you. The vow was with you and your spouse. What is this a lawsuit of third parties? Well, if the other woman, she ain't come along, my marriage wouldn't have been short. Yes, it probably would have. You see how that gets us not to look at what's really going on? It's because she came along and she was seducing him. Well, if not her, somebody else. If not somebody else, then somebody else. It's about your husband. It's about your wife. It's about this and that. Or it's about your relationship. Or it's about that it was all probably over before it began. I am not cheering this law on. It's antiquated note, and people can come in here and play with these laws. Speaking of that, let's talk about the case of Fantasia. Okay, let me see if I can bring up something about Fantasia, y'all. So, because this was very interesting. Let me see if I can. Okay. See if we can remember that. Now, of course, Fantasia's remarried and everything since then. Okay, let's see if they have something to hold her case in. Let's see. I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, I don't know if they got anything on her. They may have scrubbed it. Okay. So let's listen to what is. I think somebody's telling what the alienation of affection law is. Let's see. Hold on, let's see. Let's talk about what alienation laws are first of all, before I get, and then we'll talk about Fantasia's case. Okay. This is from WFMY News telling you guys what this law is, okay? Okay, and probably why that law failed is, like I said, North Carolina is a Bible Belt. Some of these places are Bible belts, even though I don't see nowhere in the Bible where But that's a whole other story. Okay, it's usually a spiritual situation that happens, but lawsuits and everything like that. That's just crazy. Okay, and it's usually people who get these lawsuits are people who can't defend themselves. People, or if you know my thing is this young lady represented herself, which was stupid. I mean, and if you have a business or anything, you either should have worked to either settle with this woman, give this woman, pay this woman off through her husband. If you want her husband that bad, pay her off settlement. Hey, we'll give you $100,000, $150,000 to end dissolve the marriage, whatever, 200,000, 300,000, buy your man. Okay. But $1.75 million is a lot. Okay, because they're gonna be taking money out your household if you marry them anyway, because through child support and things like that. Okay, but yeah, it was worth a lawyer, because you are not that smart to bring in points and everything like that, unless you're a lawyer, unless she was a lawyer herself, and I didn't see that anywhere on there. There are a lot of women who think this should be laws all over I see somebody on here saying this should be law over the U.S. I don't think so. This is a bad law. This is a law of revenge, and it will cause you not to see. You will start to, when people, women and men, will start to use these laws. Some people will use these laws now to will get with their spouses and hoodwink people. Okay, they will get with their spouses. I said it, and hoodwink people. Okay, meaning that let me see. Hoodwink people, like a lot of people thought was happening to Fantasia. Okay. But it says this is an old thing about Fantasia's lawsuit. It says Fantasia wins sex lawsuit. Boyfriend was telling the truth after all. Fantasia is not the home wrecking skank and heat that she was accused of being by the tabloids in Antoine Cook's ex-wife, North Carolina courts ruled. Fantasia also had a lot of investment in her at the time, and probably a lot of lawyers on the books. Okay, so it says it turns out Fantasia's boyfriend Antoine Cook was telling the truth. He was indeed separated from his wife before he and Fantasia engaged in a sweaty bedroom acrobatics. The fact that Fantasia and Antoine were mattress partners is now considered legit from the legal standpoint. A North Carolina court found that Antoine Cook was already separated from his wife, Paula Cook. Therefore, the judge ruled in favor of Fantasia and Antoine. Now, this isn't happening out in me. Some of them still have gotten people separated, okay? That's why I say it's an antiquated law, really. Fantasia just had the lawyers and shit to deal with it, okay? But it says the court ruled that Cook's separation date was September 14, 2009, not June 2010, as Paula had claimed. And to think all verbal darts and nails the public tabloids fired were real, but they were still married. Okay, so I think this was just a matter of that drama coupled with Fantasia trying to resurrect her singing career, fighting with her label, and then on top of all that, carrying her shiftless. I don't know what that is. The pressure alleged drove her to bring us in. Now we learned that Fantasia was innocent all along. Some observers see the conflict of interest in the case. It's being speculated that the verdict return may have something to do with the fact that Fantasia's attorney was the presiding judge's attorney during her divorce. Oh, see, I did not know that. Interesting, but it could be much ado about it. Now, this is true. I said Fantasia had a lot of people invested in her in a lot of places, especially in Hollywood. She probably had great attorneys, and they was able to like smut this law out when they couldn't come up. Probably, I think that they were trying to do a settlement at first. Allegedly, that's just what I'm gonna say there. They were trying to do a settlement, and when they couldn't do a settlement, they took it to court. Fantasia won because he was separated. But there have been times I heard under this law that people, even if you're separated, right, but it has to be legal or something like that. And I think at the time, Antoine Cook's wife was claiming that they were still having sex, they're still trying to get their marriage together, and she interfered. That was her thing. Ladies, I know this is hard for most of you. It hurts to you. A lot of people get so mad at the other woman. This is just another thing to target the wrong person. This is why I think what's happened, men have made it so like men have made common law. What is not common law, but community property states all over, I think, America. And it makes it harder to divorce and get lots of money from your spouse. I mean, no fault laws, no fault. So men have protected themselves in various states through no fault or no contest laws. Okay, think about this. I want you guys to think about this. Men, it's because it's mostly men who are getting hit with this, and women who are wealthy have been able to protect themselves with no fault laws. Okay, so a lot of states, I don't know how many, let's see, have no fault marriages. No. So it's hard to sue for anybody for adultery anymore. Okay, and I think it's let's see, this is from 2024. It's YouTube. Let's see if this kind of tells us. Let's see. Okay, so I was just looking at the no fault divorce state laws, and I guess, oh, you guys didn't see it. I thought you guys were able to see it. Okay. And no fault divorce are all over the United States now. Okay, so I don't know. Listen, this is crazy that you're able to sue the mistress. Now, I'm wondering, that's interesting. Are you able to sue the husband? When you and your husband got divorced, did you come with that fire with your husband? Why are you coming with that fire with the girl who has money who stole your husband? I don't like it. I hate antiquated laws. The law is antiquated and it needs to be off the books. And the reason why I'm just saying is we are setting women up in society, and men too, but we're really setting humans. Let me just say humans, but women really take these laws on and really love them. Even on all the blogs and everything, I saw people cheering this law on. And I was like, oh my God. And don't you understand that you can be targeted if you're wealthy? Like, this is crazy. Nobody is your marriage. It's you and your spouse. When people go out and cheat, yeah, the third party may have done something, may have did a little something, but it's nobody's fault but the other person's. Look right at the other person from you. Your marriages are your fault. This is just going to create people out here not taking accountability for the shit they get themselves into. And the reason why I say this is because there's a lot of women out here, and I'm big on women taking accountability, including myself. I had to learn to do this because I had to think when I was young about some of the shit I used to try to be mad at people about when I was dating them and stuff. And I thank God for my, some men in my life, like my papa and them, like, what the hell you talking about? Well, you didn't need to let him do that. You know, something like that. Being said, you letting you know you have to, men and women, you are accountable for certain things. Who you getting, who you get in relationships with, and a lot of women. I know this because I have friends. Like I have friends that have gotten in relationships. They knew ahead of time, and I'm not saying this is all women, and I'm not saying this is this woman with this alienation of affection law who won this lawsuit. But I know a lot of women who have gotten in relationships knew what this man was, knew the man wasn't shit. But they went after them with this. Oh, I'm gonna marry. I want to marry him. It don't matter. It don't matter. He got a roster, girl. It don't matter. I'm gonna marry him. He ain't gonna have no roster. Once we get married, he gonna change. Huh? And then you know what he is, and then you get surprised that he's cheating on you. You invest children. That's what you do. You invest. You have kids by him, thinking it's gonna keep him. You have a lot of women employ, not all women, but a lot of women, some, I can't say all women, but a lot of women will sometimes employ manipulative tactics to get bums. And you'll have babies with these people. And you'll have relationships with these people. And you will be mad because you've invested so much of your time and your energy and everything with a bum. And then when he leave you for your best friend, you pissed. And you like, your best friend might got some money. You say, well, I'm going to sue her ass for alienation of affection because she took my husband. But that's not what the fuck that happened. What happened is this marriage was over before it even started. You just wanted to marry him. And you invested. Where is the responsibility? Like, you know what? This was dumb because I knew ahead of time that he wasn't shit. Where is the lesson that you gonna learn? And I guess people say, well, it's okay. She gonna get a lot of money for that. She is, but I don't think I'm with that woman. She'll probably never see that woman. Will probably file bankruptcy or something else. She'll probably get a lawyer to challenge the sisters. First of all, let me just say this. This other woman who went to this, I'll say it again. It's my second time saying it, fifth time, maybe third, fourth time saying it. She was dumb to represent herself in North Carolina. That's why she lost this case. That's what nobody's saying. It's probably because she represented herself. She's got money for TikTok, probably. She's got like 3 million followers. And was a popular TikToker influencer. How the hell would you not settle or go get a lawyer? That's just dumb as fuck anyway. Okay. So yeah, I think that, while she's dumb, I don't like the law. I think and I'm a wife. And I don't like those laws, but what I want women to do is understand that no marriage just completely ends. Sometimes marriage is a little bit somebody else's fault, but most marriages are people share faults of different kinds, even in ones with infidelity. And what happens with a lot of people, if we start letting these laws sit on these books, I'm glad they were trying to get it off the books in North Carolina, but something happened, which is probably the Republicans and Christian evangelicals trying to morally prove some clause or something. That is crazy. You and your spouse are responsible for what happens in the context of your marriage. I don't care who comes along and tries to end it or tries to. If your spouse lets somebody get in the middle of it, you know what? Listen. First of all, women, you should be glad they go. That's the first thing. I know it's hard because you're sitting there because you done invested a lot, and men too. Some men done invested a lot, but some women invested a lot. Women always, it's more women angry about this stuff because women, it's just like what happened with years ago with Betty Broderick. Okay. If y'all remember the very popular case of Betty Broderick. Betty Broderick killed her husband, okay, and his new young wife, right? Betty Broderick, well, I say was the Scorpio killer. She acted very scorpion too in this murder, what she did. Betty Broderick years ago, and they had a story on Lifetime, a movie on Lifetime about it, everything. But Betty was married to this man many years. She was a doctor, and I think she put him through school. She worked very hard. But Betty, later on in the marriage, Betty probably going through, I think when I look back at the case, Betty was going through menopause or something like that. Betty became kind of angry in the marriage and stuff like that. And they had 2 children together. He left her for his younger secretary or something like that. I can't remember how it goes, but just he left her for that. And what happens is Betty becomes very angry about this, but they wouldn't leave Betty alone either. There was a lot of taunting back and forth allegedly with this case. A lot of people said, the man wasn't the way he ended it wasn't very kind, and how the situation was going with Betty, he was provoking her, some people say. Well, Betty is a Scorpio, okay? And Betty is a Scorpio unchecked. When you're a Scorpio unchecked, your anger can be notorious for revenge. Betty waited. One of her daughters, they had shared custody, or the daughters would go over to the house on the weekend. The man made the mistake of giving his kids keys to the house. Betty Broderick, who this husband he took a lot too in the marriage, okay, gets the key from her daughter late one night. They've been married a minute, goes to the house, shoots both of these people in cold blood, okay. There were many female supporters of Betty Broderick. Go back and look at that. I think it was happening in the 80s or 90s. Tons of female. They say Betty Broderick will still get letters in jail I don't know if she's still alive, but she was still getting letters from women who felt angry because the men left for younger women, or men would do this and the way they would do it and how they would do it. I'm not for anybody doing anybody devilish or wrong. I just feel like that's going to come back on you either way. But a lot of times women don't protect themselves in marriage. Okay, they don't protect themselves or their families. They don't protect themselves. They don't protect their wealth. And Betty Broderick had a lot of female supporters. But what Betty Broderick did was horrible, and she had a lot of people wanting her to get out. And to me, that just denotes like the lack of understanding that we have had since then. Women, Betty Broderick should have served. She should be. I'm glad she's still in jail and under the jail. She could have went on to have another, yes, what he did was bad. What blah 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 blah. It don't. But you know what? You could go on and restore to kill him and that woman. That's crazy. There was no justification in that, but there were a lot of women who cheered that on. Just like there are a lot of women who cheer on the Alienation of Affection Laws, and not to compare to both because they're too extreme. That's another horrible, murder is another horrible extreme. But just to say that we tend to think that people, because we're so invested in something, we get angry when we find our investment has failed. We want someone to blame. That's a lot of society. We trying to look for somebody to blame instead of the person that took the vow with us. Okay. Nobody deserves a lawsuit. I mean, she was gonna get it anyway if you would have sued him, because she married him. So she's got to pay. If he got to pay child support, she got to pay child support. She gonna leave him. That's still money coming out of her household. But some people are gonna be thinking this is a win. $1.7 million. I don't like the law because I don't like antiquated laws. When we start putting crazy laws on society, and we start doing all kinds of things, and it just starts to, everything becomes the law. The government, the state and the government become more powerful, and people become less responsible. I don't like that. Even for wrongdoing. Okay, even for wrongdoing, but that is that's not a crime being happening, or somebody malpracticing in the doctor's office or something. This is a problem with people failing at their personal relationships and then wanting to blame third parties for something that you really can't prove. It's really hard to prove these kind of cases. And a lot of times these marriages have been ending a long time. And I know a lot of women are going to be mad at me for this, but I would just say this, it impedes your personal growth. If they start having these laws over the country and you're able to not sue your spouse, I think the no fault law, I don't like no fault laws all over the country, because there is the spouse, hey, he decides to end the marriage, so maybe you should be paying alimony. Maybe you should, but there is a lot of, now these laws protect men from, they could cheat, and it's a no fault. Hey, this is a no fault state. So it makes it, they still sometimes end up paying pretty hefty out of pocket, men and women, if they've decided to, and they can make the most money. But in my personal opinion, if you're going to have that kind of law on the books of North Carolina, then you should re-review no fault. Because I just actually just don't believe that you should be targeting any third party outside of your marriage. It stops you from looking at what happened in your marriage. It stops you from placing the responsibility and the blame of the marriage ending on who it belongs to. Because the vow wasn't with the other woman, the vow wasn't with the other man, the vow was between you and him. And no, it's not right for people to interfere or get into your marriages and stuff like that, but it happens. And that's between a spouse. Nobody is responsible for that but your person. You're delulu. That's just like I heard a story the other night. I told y'all about the story. We talked about the woman who traveled all the way to a city to fight a girl in the middle of the night who was going with her boyfriend, and she ended up killing her longtime boyfriend, killing the girl. Now, what if that had been a wife going to deal with a chick, long-term chick? And I've heard stories like this on the ID channel, where the wife got mad at a woman and went and killed her. I'm sorry, I don't know. You going to jail. That person has nothing to do with your vow. It's like with other women, like I just saw this story tonight on the ID channel, and this man, he was really abusive, and he was paying another's household, another woman's household and everything. And the wife was like, well, he's abusive to her. Now, this is what she gonna say. Well, you either come home to me or you go to her house. You couldn't be. Huh? What? He paying for a whole household over there. Meanwhile, she working her butt off to pay for their household. He ain't contributing nothing, but he contributing something to another whole household and living with her. He got nerve enough. He ain't hardly got no money, but had nerves enough to have a second family. And in the end, he came on back to her. He decided, I guess, I don't know. He decided to leave the other family, and then he married, because they wasn't married. She said she wants to get married. He marries her. Bad mistake. Mistake number one. No, mistake number two, because she should have let the other woman keep him. He was already abusing your ass, already treating you bad. But yet, she took this man back and married him. And you know what happened? He killed her in cold blood. Now, I have a different perspective on this kind of stuff, and people gonna hate what I say. Oh my God, because I want people to think different. I want women, what I am trying to get women to do is if you see your responsibility in the mess, then you will be less likely to do it. Or when you see a huge red flag that can take your life like this girl had, you can be like, you know what? Hey, you know what? I gotta let you go. I mean, this is crazy. I'm paying all the household stuff and you beating my butt and you over here take care of another woman's household. She did not pay attention to those flags. And I saw her family on there crying and everything, and they should have been. It was very sad how he did it. It was brutal. He should really got the death penalty for that. But I have to blame her a little bit. And the lack of responsibility. Now, in the end, she was trying to take responsibility. She told him she was going to divorce him, right? But she didn't, there were a number of things she could have got. He didn't even want to marry you at first. And he had a whole nother woman. And you knew he was abusive. But you still pressed this man for marriage. And a lot of times in these shows I be seeing on the ID channel, women be like, she was such a good mother. I'll be like, I don't believe that. I saw this on one of the ID channels. Somebody was saying, Mom, she was such a good mother, but she left her kids at the house when the abuser get after her. She leave her kids with him. And the kids be there scared and abused. No, that's not good mothership. That's not good motherhood. If you're more than likely being abused, you probably want to be a good mother. But being abused by a man, being abused, period, in abusive relationships, whether it's if you a man being abused by a woman, or you a woman, which is it's more usually women being abused by men. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You're probably not a good mother. The more you stay with somebody who's abusive and the more you expose your children to an abuser, the more your children have to see an abuser act out, the more you tell your kids, you reinforce to your children that abuse is okay. I am for women taking, so you got to take fucking responsibility for where you at, even if it costs you something. But you got to take responsibility. And people was crying on here. It was sad tonight because I saw 2 or 3 because it was domestic. They've been going because domestic violence awareness month was last month, and they've been showing stuff I think they're going to do it for a month or 2 or something like that. But often what I see in these abuse stories is people trying to gloss over major mistakes that women make and almost being, okay, it's okay. No. Yes, he should be under the jail. But I want women to take responsibility for themselves and the decisions they make. When you are in an abusive relationship, I want you to get out of it, especially if you have children, because you are not being a good mother if you're in an abusive relationship. You're exposing your kids to abuse. You may be when you read the stories of most sociopaths, psychopaths, serial killers, they grew up in abusive homes. And their parents or one parent was being abused sometimes. And one parent let it happen and probably looked like the good parent in the thing, but was really the passive parent. So if we don't start making these truths out here for women, we don't start making these truths, understanding these truths, then, we're going to have a society where a lot of women going to just keep getting involved in the same types of stuff. And I say the same thing with marriage. A lot of you know, after the first baby, you be knowing You know you got a fool. You like, he out in these streets, he been running around, he stay out all night, he this and that, and all you do is complain and then get pregnant again. That's your responsibility. That is all on you. You keep having babies with a cheater. You keep investing in a cheater. Now, if you and him come together and he apologizes for that situation and everything, you still should be careful of your investment. Start and work on your relationship. Because I do believe people, sometimes people in marriages, some people can be redeemed from situations because infidelity varies for different reasons in different marriages, even though infidelity is not good, but infidelity varies for different reasons. Okay. Men and women across the board. Everybody's not like a cheater pumpkin. There's a lot of things that go on in courses of marriages. Y'all got open marriages now. Y'all got all kind of stuff going on. Some of y'all, it's a lot of stuff that happens. Okay. So I'm not in the course of 40 and 55 and 60 years. Okay. All these marriages ain't innocent. A lot of women ain't so innocent. Sometimes, a lot of times is women just got more invested. But I'm telling y'all to be wise. Start being wise when you know you're in a marriage that is shaky. There's no reason to invest more in it. Invest more money in it, or invest more children in it, or invest anything that is going to cause you make you less likely to get out of it. Same thing with men. Women and men are not your property. People have a right to leave their marriages if they want to. Yes, it makes you sad. Yes, they made a vow. Yes, it can be devastating. And yes, there's a price to pay and a consequence for leaving a marriage, but that is between the two people who came together and made the vows in the first place. You made the vows, no one else. And that's why I think the alienation of affection laws are outdated, antiquated. And when we talk about, like I said, we read about Fantasia. Fantasia had great lawyers. She was able to get out of that. She had great people invested in her in Hollywood. They weren't going to let her fall to that mess, okay? All right, so moving on, I want to talk out about some other stories out here too while I'm still while I'm on it, but that's what I feel about that. So I know y'all ain't gonna like it, but it is what it is, okay? Hopefully, some of y'all understand what I had to say, okay? Let me go see what else I wanted to talk about. Yeah, God, I had so much so many little stories saved up. Okay. Okay. Kayla Nicole. Okay, Kayla Nicole this week. A lot of ruckus surrounding Kayla Nicole. Kayla Nicole deleted her account. Kayla Nicole, I wouldn't have deleted my account. Okay. I'm going to just tell you that because she apologized for the particular thing that people been going off about. Hold on just a second, y'all, if I can find it. She kind of apologized for this on her show in July about saying about some of her tweets and talking about how some of her tweets were kind of racist and stuff like this. Okay. Let's see. Let me see if I can find for you guys to talk about Kayla Nicole. Okay, we're going to find it here. Okay, So yeah, so apparently Kayla Nicole's PR firm and everything they're saying dropped her after a lot of these tweets resurfaced. I don't believe that at all. For that, some allegedly some Swifties uh um it came in some let me see here. Yeah, as some Swifties who they said went back and checked her accounts and stuff like that um after this Halloween debacle situation and everything like that. I mean, after her, she did this. Remember, what happened is Kayla Nicole, Taylor Swift made a song called Opalite. That is a very shady. She's made a couple of songs on it. You know how Taylor Swift like to talk about people in her songs, right? She targeted Kayla Nicole, who's minding her business and drinking her water and tea. She didn't really do anything with her. Uh, and a lot of y'all start bringing up that Kayla Nicole when she dressed up as what's her name for she's a she do scorpion crazy shit years ago or whatever. Tiana Taylor's was she was living with the rumor was that Kayla Nicole and Iman Shumpert were together for a while, and they were living together allegedly, and that Iman he left her for Tiana, right? And for Halloween that a year afterwards, Kayla Nicole dressed up as Tiana Taylor. It went viral for it, right? She's just a Scorpio. She is a Scorpio. Like she's a Scorpio when Scorpios get back and they have no at that time, I will say she is when they have no spiritual link to them. Okay, we'll do wild shit. Okay, and stuff like that. You would, but spiritually, no, I see no need. For me, spiritually, I think that life sometimes gets you, and if I do have to get you, it ain't gonna be. It's a lesson gonna be. It ain't gonna be because I'm just trying to get back at you or something like that. That's not what because I don't, yeah, I don't really got to do because what I found out about myself a lot of times is revenge don't gotta really happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just don't. I mean, life just presents itself certain things. Sometimes you're doing me a favor and I don't know it. But anyway, Kayla Nicole, then she made this thing this week with, everybody was so proud of her because Taylor Swift made this song kind of, a lot of people thought was targeting Kayla Nicole, allegedly. And Opalite had some, and a lot of and here's the thing, a lot of Taylor Swift fans were pointing this out, not Black women started noticing after Taylor Swift fans started being disgusted by some of the lyrics because Opalite is saying something about dancing in the dark of onyx. I didn't even notice it when I was listening to it. I knew she was kind of hitting at Kayla, but I didn't notice a lot of the metaphors that she was using in the song, like dancing in the dark of night, but now you're in the light and bright. And Taylor Swift has been rumors out here years ago that Taylor Swift was kind of racist. I used to like Taylor Swift because of that. And then allegedly that she took a picture with somebody with a swastika. It's all kind of crazy shit. I mean, I forget what it was. Not swastika. We'll forget what it was with her. But it was a lot of stuff out here about Taylor Swift and that racial dynamic. Okay, so I didn't like the funky ass song and then I'm not a bad bitch or a savage, kind of like this whole thing about because Megan Thee Stallion. A lot of people think he was trying to talk to Megan Thee Stallion, and she was saying that I'm not a savage. But Kayla Nicole didn't sit back and take it. Kayla Nicole decided to eat her ass up, right? And then what happened after this is these Swifties allegedly got online and looked up Kayla Nicole's old tweets. Do I believe for 1 second? Now I'm not saying what is facts. I'm saying what I believe. Do I believe for 1 second that Swifties went and looked up this shit? I think a Swiftie is being used as the fall guy. But I believe in my spirit that Taylor Swift's people did this shit. Okay. I believe they flexing their power. They flexing their power. Taylor, if you did it, that was dumb. Okay. I think it'll come back up. She's a Scorpio. You gotta watch her. Okay. Even though when she down, Scorpio's Phoenix girl, Taylor's a little to Scorpio, right? You gotta watch it. Okay. Yeah. If you did this, Taylor Swift, if you and your people had anything, which I believe they covered their tracks well, they probably paid some Swiftie or something, but that's just my belief. It's not facts, not allegedly. That's just my fact. I just believe this was easily trying to wipe the floor because she felt embarrassed by that because somebody had the nerve to speak up to her by putting a name in by putting a relationship allegedly in a song. Okay. But here, this is from this article is from sporting news, okay.com, and it says Kayla Nicole is taking a social media break. The fitness influencer has deactivated her X account, formerly known as Twitter, following backlash and resurfaced posts. For Halloween, Kayla Nicole dressed up as R&B Toni Braxton and recreated her 2000 music video for He Wasn't Man Enough. Did you know about us back then? Do you know I dumped your husband, girlfriend? Kayla Nicole lip sync. I'm not thinking about him, but you married him. Do you know I made him leave? Do you know he begged to stay with me? He wasn't man enough for me. Fans believe that the singer was throwing shade at her ex-boyfriend, Kansas City star Travis Kelce, the NFL star, and Kayla Nicole dated from 2017 to 2022. He's now engaged to Taylor Swift, whom he began dating in 2023. Kayla Nicole explained the reason behind her costume on podcast. The pregame and the origin of the costume was a reference to a childhood friend named Taylor, which I think she shouldn't have said. I would say just a childhood friend, and not her former romance with the 3-time Super Bowl champion or his fiance. Okay, so let's listen to what Kayla Nicole says the reason she.
Pregame, not the game. Come on, Toni Braxton.
Yeah. First question: have you ever slid into an athlete's DM first?
Yes.
Who was it? We have a hate page. It's like really, it's like really mean. Like you would think that they hate her more. They hate us both equally.
I go on there every now and then. I go. So I really don't have nothing to say about.
Let me see.
Please yourself. First of all, also like self-exploration. Bridal shower was 10,000, or you had to
for her
10,000. No, girl, I would never.
All right, I made that up.
Because the recent data, you guys. Here's a little fun fact that I found. According to recent data, Black women still only earn 63 cents for every. You lose your virginity, person. You think you're gonna be with them forever? What?
Okay, let me try.
I want everyone to see how much I love him too. Or it's like
organic.
It's organic. It's not like perform.
Yeah. Wilding out over some old shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta let that go. You can speak on your truth. You can speak on your experience. Recently went and made this almost like a musical about her love with Ben Affleck.
I didn't watch that shit. I heard it was terrible.
She spent a lot of money on it, girl. Millions of dollars.
And she should have gave it to me.
To just.
Yeah, that one. But the Kayla playing the Carisha game.
Yo.
You want to bring up some petty shit?
Yeah, all right. all right, bitch.
We want to go there.
You want to talk about
us.
Okay, I'm trying to find a spot on here she talks about it.
That time, yeah, but we played the Carisha Please game.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And it was crazy. There was like, lick the nearest pussy next.
Why?
I love it. You take Halloween very seriously.
Oh, I take Halloween very seriously. Yes, very seriously. Every single year, I'm something.
Okay. I can't
care
find
about
it.
somebody when I really
but
love.
Basically, Kayla, her friend was white, and she was surprised that white people listen to R&B like that and everything like that, and a lot of people. And so, that's why she said it wasn't nothing to do with Travis Kelce or Taylor Swift. Okay. Okay, right. Her mom was playing this song. That's what she said. She said I had a white best friend. Her name was Taylor. Kayla Nicole said. And she was on the only house I could go over as a kid because my mom didn't play them type of games. Her mom was playing this song, playing at the top of her lungs. Kayla explained. It was just like an aha moment that, wow, white people listen to Black people music as well. Kayla Nicole's Hollywood post follows lyrics from Swift's Opalite, where fans suggested that singer referenced the video from influencer and the NFL player's romance, where they were arguing about Kayla Nicole being on her phone. You couldn't understand it, why you felt alone. You were in it for real. She was on her phone and you were just a pose. Swift sings on Opalite and the life of a showgirl, okay? In addition to Kelce and Swift backlash from fans on social media, alleged homophobic and racist language was resurfaced from the media personality's account, according to screenshots from the Daily Mail, according to Kayla Nicole's Instagram account, and is still active at the time of this writing. Okay. So yeah, they found a lot of tweets. They were bad too. They were bad. And you know what? I never said Kayla Nicole was perfect. I've talked about Kayla Nicole on my show before. Okay. In my podcast. So people who've been listening to my podcast for a long time when I was on Blog Talk Radio know that I am not blind to the ideas of Kayla Nicole, but I think Kayla Nicole has had a lot of growth since her ending of her relationship with Travis Kelce. Okay. Now, what I will say about old tweets, these tweets are from 15 years ago. Okay. Kayla Nicole at the time, 20, 21 years old. Okay. But there's still enough to be disturbed that you have to say, Kayla Nicole, what were you thinking? Okay. But Kayla Nicole has apologized for these tweets in July. Not enough people are playing that. You know why? Because there's some power that's keeping these blogs from playing that Kayla Nicole already apologized for bad tweets that she had, and nobody asked her for it on her podcast. Okay, so let's take a look. Let me see if I can pull that up for you guys. If I can pull this up, Kayla Nicole. Let's see. Goodness, can we find it here? Okay. Let's see if we can pull it up. Okay, that's Taylor Swift's thing. Hold on. Okay. Let me see, y'all. Give me a second here. Okay, this may be it. Okay. We'll pull up Kayla Nicole apologizing in July of 2025 of this year. Nobody had asked her. Nobody was checking for it. Apologizing for her tweets. Okay, so let's take a listen at Kayla Nicole during this. Okay, I don't know why more blogs haven't been sharing this.
Hold on now. But I think cancel culture can be beat or met with, at least with accountability. Everyone makes mistakes. I know there's certainly been a time where people have pulled up old tweets of mine that I was not proud of. But it's like, also, this is when Twitter first started. I was attempting to be this like talking head in the entertainment media space. I was working at places like TMZ and like Oprah Winfrey Network. I was like in the thick of it. Yeah, girl. But it was like in that era, in that time, that's when fashion police was a thing. And like people were on E-News and you're ripping people for the art of entertainment.
Listen.
And I'm getting on Twitter doing that. So if you go and pull up those old tweets, it's like, God, she was a bitch. And like, kind of, honestly, I did feel like a bitch. And which is why I quit working at TMZ, because I didn't like how it made me feel. But I do think, like you said, you have to give people a little grace.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes. Yes. Everybody has those days. And I'm not ashamed. I'll own up to it now, too. Like, what I said back then is not how I feel now. It's not how I think now. I don't subscribe to that thought process at all. I'm sorry. And I'm sure the girl that got kicked off Love Island is sorry, too.
Yeah. Okay, so she apologized for those tweets. She apologized and she explained. She gave a good explanation. Nobody asked her for it either.
Losers.
Okay, and
well done. You've shown courage. You're next.
And maybe because she knew, she knew that she was going to probably, get ready to go into a different space. Let me tell y'all right now. I used to do this on Blog Talk Radio all the time. I apologize for any other old things that I said that I may not believe now. I may have said something crazy and reckless. I may have said something crazy and reckless last week or the week before last, but I am a human being and I have the right. Yes, I have to be held accountable, but I also have the right to evolve and think differently and change my mind. I also have the right to not change my mind. Just because cancel culture is in and says it's not right doesn't mean it's it's not right. Because a lot of stuff cancel culture be canceling out here, which I'm gonna talk about a little bit in a minute. Cancel culture will be championing, be some BS. Okay, you got a lot of people out here sometimes, but Kayla said a lot of reckless stuff. Okay, and I like for her, instead of running off the internet, Kayla, because you're a Scorpio, you know how I go. Instead of running off the internet and higher, and I think you're just devastated right now because if they say what happened allegedly, her agency dropped her or something like that, or publicity. That's stupid if they did that. That was not, Kayla, that's not because of them old tweets. I don't believe that. They knew that shit was there. That's because somebody flexing, in my opinion, just my opinion, don't try to say this is fact, but in my opinion, that's somebody flexing their fucking muscle, and you know who it is. But that, just lay low. It'll all come back. It'll come back when you want to. I don't believe nobody can cancel nobody if God got his hand on you. If they cancel you, it's because God got something else for you. Okay. So, that's what I say to that. Okay. And somebody said to me, well, I saw somebody the other day talking about, well, you said, well, look at Sabrina Claudio. Same thing with Sabrina Claudio. If you listen to my show on Sabrina Claudio, what I said was Sabrina did not have enough of an explanation or apology for it. She was just running around here trying to get on tours and stuff. And what I said is when Maxwell had her on his cruise that first year, I said he should have, because you service mostly Black women. Yes, I'm able to come at my fave. I love the hell out of Maxwell, but I'm able to say when I think something's off and I didn't think it was right. But now I understand, because Maxwell said on his thing that, he doesn't pick the people. I don't pick people, but they know who I like. So Maxwell don't know a lot about what's going on, it seems like, allegedly, with his name on it. I don't know. That's what he kind of said. I don't know. Whatever. But so I understand what happened with Sabrina Claudio. But the Sabrina Claudio, what I said is that when you're servicing mostly Black women and this person's come out, she apologized for him, but it was kind of a half-ass apology somewhere in a magazine or something. There should have been a discussion about that as a Black man, my personal opinion, putting on this. It should have been discussed. Because most people, reason they didn't have probably no discussion about it, because most people don't know who Sabrina Claudio is and still don't. And she makes great music. I don't like, it's not I dislike her music. Her music is good. But it's just I don't like what you said, because sometimes when even Kayla Nicole, that's why I say with her, I don't like her running off the internet, because is that how you feel now? Because you should be able. Only reason I'm in some sense is kind of defending Kayla Nicole, because I know what's happening to Kayla Nicole. In my opinion, what I think is happening. But also, I think Kayla Nicole apologized for these tweets in July, and she didn't move them, which is I wouldn't move mine either, because that's a picture of evolution. Okay. And people make mistakes. Okay. And I said the same thing about Sabrina Claudio when I talked about Sabrina. For those of you who try to come at me, I said the same, because you wasn't listening. I said the same thing. I said everybody has a right to a second chance. But because this was a Black man's cruise, and he serviced mostly Black American women, he should have had some sort of discussion or something about it with her and say, well, and welcome her to the cruise and be glad she on here. But some people think, don't say nothing. Don't say, what I'm saying? Don't say nothing. No, and she apologizes, leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that. I think you always should front it, because when people find out, people think you was trying to be cute or slick. And I don't think that's what you was trying to be at all. You know what I'm saying? People think like, the fuck, because people already be thinking sometimes. I got friends still mad at Maxwell for dating the other girl, that girl from years ago. So people still mad at Maxwell for little shit. So when they find out Sabrina, so he gonna have Sabrina Claudio in there, because people who in the know and understand what happened with her, who's smart, so he ain't even he gonna play in our face with with a girl who's obviously racist, and all these Black women on this tour. That's what some people would say, and instead of just confronting the issue and letting her be able to clean up, be able to tell who she is and say how she's evolved, then that would have been better to me. Okay, so That's what I said about Sabrina Claudia. But I do believe I did not say she didn't deserve a second chance, and she didn't deserve a time where she shouldn't apologize. That she shouldn't ever be seen again. I'm just saying, just let's hear your evolution, because it was kind of a little swept under the rug because, and I understand because she's young. And I say the same thing with Kayla Nicole. So don't come for me with that. I said that when I was with I said the same thing. That's what y'all, don't play with me. Don't play in my face, okay? Okay. Now, speaking of Taylor Swift, okay? You Swifties, some of you are still Delulu, okay? I like Taylor Swift, but I ain't Delulu, okay? Taylor Swift, and I watched this whole interview, and when Taylor told this cute little story, I didn't believe it then, and I don't believe it now. Okay, so but I'm gonna let you guys hear about this part. Let's talk with Taylor about dealing with shady people. Okay. Let me put this. We got this. I can share it. Hold on, you guys. You make it so I can share for you guys. Okay.
And it can still be none of my business.
Okay.
Like, people can be out here, people might be out here doing too much.
Just shaking ass.
Doesn't mean I have to do a damn thing. I don't see a lot of things. I'm of the firm belief that, like, if you're getting your feedback from the internet or from comments and stuff, like, I just really think that, like, anything you feed your brain, it will internalize. Anything you feed the internet, it will kill. It can be about me. Like, my name can be in the actual headline. Wait, let me hear the
whole thing. Hold on.
And it can still be none of my business.
Okay.
Like, something can be about me. Like, my name can be in the actual headline, and it can still be none of my business.
Okay.
Like, people can be out here, people might be out here doing too much.
Just shaking ass.
Doesn't mean I have to do a damn thing. I don't see a lot of things. I'm of the firm belief that, like, if you're getting your feedback from the internet or from comments and stuff, like, I just really think that, like, anything you feed your brain, it will internalize. Anything you feed the internet, it will kill. I've been in the music industry for 20 years. It's pretty hard to hurt my feelings at this point.
She's a pro.
You should think of your energy as if it's expensive, as if it's like a luxury item. Not everyone can afford it.
Yep.
Like, not everyone has invested in you in order to be able to have the capital for you to care about this. Because, like, what you spend your energy on, that's the day. Something can.
Okay, we all know that's a lie from Taylor Swift. Okay, can we stop right now? Taylor invested heavily in what people say is about her. Taylor makes whole songs about exes and people she's mad at and all kind of stuff. That's bullshit, Taylor. Okay, it's nice colloquials, and it's like that man said, "Oh, what you invest in and blah 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 blah." Some of the can we have an honest conversation here? Celebrities definitely care about what you think. I know they have those little sayings. I don't get a care. I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's none of my business. If there's a tabloid, I've learned that it's none of my business. That's what her people tell her is none of her business, so she won't wreck her mind. But to her people, they pay attention. It's all her business, because her business, she works in the business of people liking her. She cares. You think she didn't hear about Kayla Nicole? Now, she may have chose to throw it off and not worry about it. Okay. I doubt it has a Sagittarius with a Lilith Scorpio placement. Let me tell you this. Celebrities care about what you think. They love to give these little.
Be about me. Like, my name can be in the actual headline, and it can still be none of my business.
Okay.
Like, people can be out
and
here.
I agree with
people
that.
might be out here doing too much.
Just shaking.
And people can be out there doing too much, and people can be out there, it can be none of her business, but it is her business. It does become her people's business. They pay attention to anything that's going on because she is in the business of show business. Yes, celebrities have to learn how to balance themselves because audiences, 1 minute they like you, 1 minute they don't. You know, and personally, I believe this is arrogance of celebrity too, to sometimes to their own detriment, to sometimes ignore headlines too much. Like there are times when you should ignore them because this might be somebody just hating, or if there are, I say if you're a celebrity and 200 1,000 people in the comments are all saying the same thing, then you've got to wonder, because you're a celebrity, even if it's not you, your people are going to wonder, where's that coming from? Because that can change the trajectory of your career. I think that's what happens with a lot of celebrities. A lot of celebrities sometimes don't realize they've lost a base, because people will say to them, oh, you don't got to worry about that. Don't worry about that. People are hating on you. So don't care about what people think. Oh, I mean, if you cared about what everyone thought, if you cared about what blah, 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 well, you'd just be crazy by now, stuff like that. And sometimes it keeps them blind to what is going on in certain spaces. I don't believe celebrities should be listening all the time to what's going on. No, because sometimes it's too much noise out there. But you should definitely hear every once in a while. You should definitely not be blind to your situation. You know what I noticed in the celebrity world too. I always say this to people, like, you know, somebody was telling me about a situation years ago they had with a female celebrity, with like a meet and greet. A female celebrity had a meet and greet or some meeting thing or something. And I'm not saying who it is. And that's not Beyonce, okay? So I know y'all know Beyonce. Those are, but in they were telling me how the people who worked with the person was acting just too much. Like they felt like they were just not just that gracious, and it was just like they was rushing them through, and they weren't very nice, and they were more uppity. I didn't expect, you know, as a matter of fact, I just recently when I went to Maxwell, I had 2 Maxwell meet and greets. I mean, all the people have been nice to me at my Maxwell meet and greets I've done. Everybody's been really nice. I mean, it's really, you know, they've been cool, you know. And the one lady I remember, there's 2 ladies I remember very nice, you know, but one lady I remember this time, like I felt like she kind of grounded me, which was weird. It was a young lady. I've never seen her in the meet and greets. She's a dark-skinned girl, and she was at the end of the meet and greet. She's at the beginning when you come to the meet and greet. She's like, "Hi, how are you?" And she was so sweet and so kind. I was like, "Oh, like it made me feel comfortable." I was like, "How gracious." She was so nice. And I think she said, "You look nice." I was like, "Thank you." She was so nice. And I love that. And I remember her. I remember her distinctively. And I was like, wow, I love that. And the reason why I love that is because when my friend told me about her experience with this female thing, I thought to myself, who the fuck are y'all? Like, who the fuck? Like, why would you act arrogant because you're working with somebody? Like, people need to always tell people to be kind and gracious. You are in the business of customer service. Shit, if I had a meet and greet, every motherfucker that walk in that meet and greet that done paid all this money to be in this meet and greet, you better be saying hi, complimenting them, being nice, call security if you need security. But you treat these motherfuckers like they your best friend. There is no reason to be arrogant with any fucking fan walking through the door. Hey, don't be it because you working with me. The fuck? No, don't be that. We're not gonna be that. These are our if the entertainment world does not tend to think like this. They tend to not think. They think because there's such a desperation to be around entertainers, you think you can treat anybody anyway. And even the people that work around entertainers, like you know, like I've had people like when I was younger and back in the day when I'd be going out and stuff and I'd be partying like with different things and stuff and celebrities. And I've had people in a band that used to try to get at me like the fuck, and they throw out things, who band they in? You know, you see, you know, I'm with such and such. The fuck, so what? Are you such and such? Like, who are you? I don't give a fuck who your bed. I don't give a fuck. What? You not him? What are you telling me for? And I know women who used to sleep with band members to get to the main guy. It was the craziest shit I ever heard. I said, well, why you think that sleeping with a band member is gonna get you to the main person? What the fuck? Or sleeping with somebody around in a group, and this would blow motherfuckers' face, blow motherfuckers' minds up. You know what I'm saying? They be thinking the people around them be thinking they the person. That's how the entertainment world works, and that's why I was so impressed. I have to say this, Maxwell's people, but mainly with that one girl. All Maxwell people's been nice, but that one, and there was one girl when I was in Arkansas, my first time, and she was so funny. I don't know if she was regularly there. I don't know if she was working for the venue or not, but I think she was working for the venue. But she came up to me, everywhere I was waiting to come in. She said, "Girl, he fine." He for real fine. I would never forget. And we started laughing. She was so nice and so confident. But this other girl was so comforting, so nice. I was like, how unusual. In a place where usually entertainers, people come in and do all are not that way, but she was, and I know she worked for something for him, I don't know what, but she was really sweet, very nice girl. Wait a minute, and then I saw her again. I was walking through the complex, and she was walking down the hall, and you know what she says? She says, "Hey, did you enjoy the show?" I looked at her, I was like, "Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it." What? Wow. That's somebody who understands fucking customer service, okay? That's somebody. So in these celebrity worlds, I just happened to saw this with Taylor Swift, and I laughed about it because to me, you are concerned with the tabloids a little bit. You are concerned with certain words one here out here about you. If too much comes out about you, you're going to have to get out here and confront it. Because the business ain't going to let you not do it. Right? So there is a certain element of customer friendliness that you have to have. I think show business lacks that a lot of times because people will do anything to be around anyone in show business or anybody within close proximity to them. And usually sometimes with people within close proximity, they act a fool. But like my friends said, they was acting out arrogant, but I was like, yeah, I haven't had the experience. But people, you find that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Where people are within close proximity to a celebrity and they think it's they shit. You know what I'm saying? I personally think there is no kindness is always wonderful. Always wonderful. It and it makes sure it puts the extra stamp on you where you don't have to be kind in that kind of business because people are so rarely people will do anything to be. You know how many people will do something to get to a main band member. I used to see it all the time back in the day. Like I remember I used to say I had one friend who, well, she wasn't really a friend. One girl I knew, and she was sleeping with a band. I was like, "What? How do you think that's going to help you with the other guy? Like, is that the guy you really liking?" And it makes sense to me. I was like, "Why expose? Unless you found somebody you really like, and you're like, oh, forget him. All the way, I really like this person." But to sleep with a person to get to another person is absolutely ludicrous. It is the dumbest thing. Girls, can I say that it's the dumbest thing you could do ever? Unless you just ask for some sort of one night stand or something like that. Or you wanted people to talk about you in the bed, or you know what I'm saying? The fuck? Why would you do that? I heard a funny story that a person told about they were trying to get to another person and they slept with another person. This is back in the day, like a rapper. And they were saying that a few years later that they really liked the other person. They dated for a little bit and everything like that, but it didn't work out. Several years later, this same rap, real famous group, if I said who it was, comes to town. This girl told the story on a podcast, and she said that she ends up meeting the guy, that she really liked in the beginning. And she said they just hit it off wonderfully, right? And they were getting ready, they were hanging out, they were getting ready to just I guess hang out for the night. I don't know, because that's the type of person situation it was or whatever. And the other person in the band shows up and says, "Hey man, can I talk to you for a minute?" And she says, after that point, he was like, "Why you didn't tell me that you had some sort of relationship with blah 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 blah?" And she's like, "Oh, I was so embarrassed." And she said he just didn't, he wasn't into her after that. He just didn't. And I was like, yeah, because what do you think? What are you women thinking? And that's the kind of energy showbiz has. I mean, I know I've gotten off the Taylor Swift thing, but that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying show business has such an energy of people in it and around it. They sometimes, show business people, these are why they tend to not sometimes know how important it is, the audience. They tend to not think they're in the customer service business because the people around them sort of shield them from that aspect of things. They shield celebrity a lot from those aspects of those parts of the business and things like that. But I am of the belief, and this is my personal belief, and I think it will radically change the energy of celebrity, my personal opinion. The best CEOs, I remember when I worked at a particular place years ago, they had this program that happened. One of the best CEOs that come through that I worked under. And this program was that all the CEOs worked at some point during the month. It's just sort of like, I remember the secret boss thing, but they weren't secret. All CEOs came and worked in customer service, or they worked in this, or they worked we had an information booth. They worked at the information booth. They worked somewhere so they could have a taste and understand who their audience is and who it was. The everyday CEOs were not bothered with these little things. You know what I'm saying? They're not bothered with the little things of the information booth or customer service or this and that. But once a year, they would make them be bothered with the things so they could understand the employees, what they're doing, levels. They can understand not only what employees are having to know, but what their customer, what the customers see as the first line of defense, right? And so I remember being just like, so I used to be super psyched because I was a person that never believed, a lot of people, when I had become a little assistant around my first assistant job managing, I was never of the belief that you change around CEOs and bosses. I'm consistent at my job. I'm good at it when you there. I'm good at it when you're not. I ain't got to change with you. If I'm good, I'm good. And because of that, it took me a while to learn that. Listen, I had to learn how to be that way. There was they were having this thing, and they said to me, "Hey, we want you. Can you go down? Can you man the information booth?" I said, "Why?" And they said, "Because the CEO is going to be on that, and we'd rather him be with you." Now I had another time where I had all the staff, like all the management team, and I was the only one in a commanding customer service, and this whole team was around me. And it was really good for me, though. It ended up being very good for me. But so I said, okay, everybody said, they said, everybody's afraid, and we knew you'd be really good at it and stuff like that. I went down. Me and him had the best talk. And I thought he was like some big shot from New York who didn't understand. Man, totally different, totally understanding, got it, loved, like me and him talked about certain ideas about the movie. He told me certain things he didn't know and understand that about certain things, like we would have in the thing or the information. That he saw a lot of things he liked, he didn't like. He saw it firsthand. He was and he said, I remember he said, thank you. And I remember he called me over across the street to the office. He said, man, you were so impressed. You were so nice. Thank you so much for helping me through that and everything like that. But he implemented a lot of the stuff we talked about. And partly because he was able to see the front lines. It's one of the best things I think they ever implemented. Celebrities should have that at the times too. To me, it is important as a celebrity. Celebrities, you are often shielded from way too much. And you're not CEOs of your careers. You're instead in show business, you have what people call handlers. Who shove you around from a place and like, nope, you're not going to do that. Nope, you're not going to do this. Nope, you're not going to do this. Nope. And there are times they have your best interests in mind. They understand parts of the business and things that you maybe when you're new coming into the business or you don't understand. But at some point in the game, if you've been in the business for so many years, 30, 40, 50 or 20 years or whatever, 10 years, at some point in the game, you have to become of the belief that you have to become CEO of your career, your brand. You have to. Otherwise, you'll be handled your whole life, which most celebrities are. And they fail to see that customer side, and they say stuff like this. Well, it's really not my business what people think. And at first I thought it was good what she said because she added a lot of colloquials. You've got to earn your blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, no, you're in the customer service business. It is your business to understand what a headline is, because that headline can ruin, like Kayla Nicole. Those old tweets got her, lost her some work probably. So you're always it's always important what's happening in your customer base. And I think sometimes when you take the aspect of that you're the CEO of your brand and you're not letting all these other people handle it, but you understand what everybody does on every level that works around you most of the time. Most people, you can't do everybody, but most people, that you understand the basics, peoples that are around you. You have an understanding and you see what they do and you understand what they do. And that way it puts you in more control in the driver's seat in these businesses. Because a lot of times that's what happened. That's why they lose so much touch with things. They become a bubble. They don't, because you're being handled. And you make far too much money and make other people far too much money to be walking around being unaware of your customer base, unaware of things. I saw something this week. Wow, I did see something this week. I won't say who. I saw. I was looking online at reviews for a particular thing, and this is a particular thing a celebrity was having, right? And this review, these people gave a review, and they were talking about how they didn't like that this particular event they went to cost so much money. It cost so much money that the celebrity put on, but that the celebrity, it was little things that they missed. The celebrity didn't there wasn't an awareness. It was a great event. It was fun and everything, but there wasn't an awareness that this is and I've gotten into something else, y'all. I've left the Taylor Swift thing, but there wasn't an awareness. It just moved into other things. But there wasn't an awareness that there wasn't an awareness that of the cost, like what are or they were saying that like they thought they had gotten a gift, a free gift, and they thought, oh, this is so nice. They thought it might have been as a part of this celebrity event, but it wasn't. It was a gift they would have got otherwise because of the place that was putting on this event, and they happened to be members or something like that, and they got it anyway. But they said how nice it would have been, a nice touch for the celebrity to do that, or that, and this and that, and this and blah 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 blah. And they were just going on. But what I really got out of the review that they said, what I got out of the review is that, and what they didn't understand about it either, is that celebrities put their name to a lot of things, but they don't, a lot of times they often don't protect their brand. They've got other people working their brands. And a lot of times what happens, this particular event that this celebrity had given, I can see they were probably trying to make money from the event. But some events should be just about branding and not money making. But you won't know that because the people around you sometimes think that they are handling them rather than them having an opinion. I don't care what I've learned in life, what I've learned just about life, even when I don't know enough about something. I'll listen to people. I'll let them talk to me. I'll let them give me their ideas. I'll let them give me what's important, if it's something that's surrounding me or a business around me or ideas surrounding me. But ultimately, this is my decision, my life, and my who I am, and I got to make the decision. I don't care who the hell you are. And I think that's a lot of things that what happens in the celebrity world. So they think like Taylor Swift, when we go back to Taylor Swift, oh, I don't, it's not my business what you think about me. Yes, it is. That's not your business all the time, but at some point it is. You know what I'm saying? And, maybe you should have more access to understanding things and seeing how things are. Like she should be having a more understanding of how this Opalite song is going over. But her people are telling her, don't worry about it. But no, to people, you're looking racist. People are like, what? What you mean? See, to me, those are things that you have to say, nah, I ain't letting that stand. I gotta see what people talking about. Some things you can let stand, like, you know what I'm saying? But even, but some things you have to, sometimes it's your personal convictions as celebrity. Like I love when it was one of the celebrity came out, was talking about the Illuminati stuff. She said, I ain't letting y'all do that to me because that my personal conviction can't even I can't even let y'all play games like that I ain't had nobody come to me. I don't know nothing about nothing. I ain't throwing up no signs. You know what I'm saying? So it was important for her to look like she not a part of no crap. And she didn't want nobody spreading that about her, even though she said you might continue to spread it, but I know I've cleared it up. I've cleared the room. And if you want to keep believing it, you can. It's on you. But I know what I've already come and confronted. Some things you do need to be able to confront. Some things you do. But these days, when you get in that business, they put you in that bubble and they make you think. But y'all too grown for that shit. And too responsible. That's why a lot of time. And then when the bubble bursts, when something happened, then motherfuckers scatter and leave you alone, and everything is your fault. So no celebrity should be letting no motherfucker handle nothing all the time. You should be CEO of your own brand, your own life. You should be very aware of the motherfucker, everything that's out here. Not all of it, but you should be having some sort of awareness and not living in a bubble concerning your brand and who you are. It's crazy. And I feel like that a little bit about her, Taylor Swift. Okay. That's why I wanted to play that today. And I like Taylor Swift. I remember, y'all, I was becoming a big Taylor fan until the Katie Nicole thing happened. I didn't like the way she handled that. And I still like Taylor Swift. But yeah. Okay, so let me go on to the next thing we need to talk about. Okay, so this Just Hilarious thing this week. Just Hilarious was talking about let me see here. What you got? Just Hilarious was talking about why BT blocked her from being a guest on Miss Pat's show. Okay, let me see this. So we got some more to talk about. Wait, I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm trying to get all in what I'm supposed to be talking to y'all about. Okay, so let me play this for you guys. Okay, where are we at? Okay, let's play this one. Okay, let's show so I can show you what she said on here. This from the Breakfast Club.
Work was done and all.
Okay.
Been on multiple episodes of Miss Pat Settles, but I got a phone call, right? Right after paperwork was done and all of that, right? Saying that I could no longer be on the show for a few episodes because of a comment that I had made. And the comment was literally verbatim, only women can have babies. I said that, and I asked, was that what got them to, revoke my opportunity to be on your show? And they said yes.
Well, you know what? A lot of times when they do stuff, and I'm gonna be honest with you, because I knew you was gonna ask me this fucked up question on air, so I'm gonna ask you. They didn't come to us and say that. They just said we're gonna go in. BET said no. So when I asked you to do it, and no matter who I pick in this room, the network still have to approve it, and they check out everything. So when I guess that conversation came up, and then they decided to say no. It's nothing I can do when it's their money. I came in and said, I want you on my show. I went back and told them, I want you on my show. But then they said, BET said no.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't you.
Yeah.
Because the person who even called me said that you fought for, like, you really was like, nah, I want her on the show.
Yes.
And you said that more than once. But they told me that was the reason why. And I'm like, oh, all right. Well, do she know that? Can she, you know what I'm saying? Like, did y'all talk to her or did y'all tell her? What was her feedback? Like, y'all don't care that that's her show. She want me on there. And then it's just bogus for a statement like that I couldn't come and do. Miss Pat Settles that I was really upset about that, yo.
But you do understand why people were why people were like all up in arms about that.
Absolutely, I understand, but that don't mean what I said was not true. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I think it's only because of there are trans men, there are men, like people who identify as men out there who like have babies. So they're like, oh, I have a baby too, but I don't necessarily consider myself a woman. So then it like exits me out of the conversation. It's like that was it. It was the fact that there were people who don't identify as women who are like, no, I have babies. I do childbirth, but I just feel offended because I'm not a.
Let me give you a piece of advice from having a gay daughter. Let people be whoever the fuck they want to be. I grew up with a lot of people who say whatever the fuck they was at. Whatever you are, that's who I respect you as being. Me personally, I don't put myself in those conversations. If you say you a woman, then you a fucking woman. You got on my shoes, you got on my dress. I'm mad because your makeup is better than mine. Other than that, I don't give a fuck what you can look like. Charlamagne with a wig. If Charlamagne want to be, shut the hell up. If he want to be Shala today, then fine. I mean, just don't argue with him. Because allow them to be whatever they want to be. And that's just life.
But also, I think it's because I always look at this, and we talked about this on the show, is I always think that, like, I just look at everybody as spirits. Like, we're all really just, like, having a physical experience for this lifetime here on this earth. But we're all just spirits. And those spirits, when we die, don't come with a dick, don't come with a vagina, don't come with, you're just a spirit. It's how you treated people when you were here and how you lived your life. And I think there are people who are like, oh, I'm just spirit. Like, I don't subscribe to the, like, colonialized mind of, like, oh, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a this, I'm a that. It's like, no, I'm just spirit. But I think that's why people were like, oh.
No, they're not saying they're just spirit. They're saying they are women who can have, and she's saying that there is a difference. Women can have babies. In the physical realm, there's a difference between the natural and the spiritual realm. See, this is where we people be talking crazy. They don't be knowing I'm just spirit. No, you can't be spirit in a natural realm. You're not just spirit. You three things in the natural realm. Your body, soul, and spirit. That's why if you in the natural realm, if you fuck up your body, you and your spirit is going back to you going back. You ain't gonna be able to operate within this. You can't operate in this realm without a body. So what he's saying don't even count. What he talking about? I'm just spirit. When people say I'm just spirit, I'm just here having the spiritual spirit. I'm just spirit. No, you ain't. No, you're not. This is the natural realm. when you in the spiritual realm. And in the spiritual realm, you get, listen, wait a minute. If you a Christian and you adhere to Christian value and a lot of religious period, they believe you have a new body in the spiritual. Bodies is still needed in the spiritual realm. Nah. They just made of a different thing. Okay. So that ain't true. But y'all say, I'm spirit. I'm spirit. You are spirit, but you also in the natural realm. So you mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and spirit. And you got to take care of all three of them in the spiritual realm. You can walk around here and ignore your spirit in the natural realm. You know that, don't you? It's a lot of people walk around here dead in the spirit. That means we got a lot of walking dead people. They spirit say is dead. They souls are gone. We also got a lot of people around here without the mind. Now, they spirits are still there, but they just ain't connected to them. You get what I'm saying? And then we got a lot of people walking around here without their mind. But it's one thing you can't do in the natural realm is be in the natural realm without a body. Okay. And what Jess was saying, that naturally trans women can't have babies. Ain't no lie. Ain't no lie, BET. And people should have came after you, BET, for coming after that young lady for telling the truth. Well, she was trying to alienate others by that statement. I know that's what they're going to say. No, but some other person may have been trying to alienate women who are women who are born that way, because a lot of women who feel they were born women feel like they're not the same as trans women. And I don't think they are. They're two different groups of women and born different ways. Now, in your mind and spirit, you might feel like a woman, and then you start to dress that in the natural. I get that. But the truth is, you can't have no baby. At least they ain't made nothing for you to have no baby yet. I don't think they would ever be able to. Because it's just a difference in physical bodies, and that is a fact. There is nothing to argue. And BET should have been ashamed of themselves for doing that. She has the right to her opinion. No, that ain't even an opinion. That's a fact. That's scientifically proven. Fuck. See what I'm talking about? What's going on in Hollywood? And then you see how Miss Patton, well, I just ignore it because I just want to be out here in these Hollywood streets. I just want to, until she get canceled. I just want to be out here. It don't matter. I try to stay out them kind of conversations, child. I try blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, let me just tell y'all, we come into a time, and it's really going to come down to this. They say in the last days that good will be considered evil and evil will be considered good. Okay. You're going to have people out here saying all kinds of things. And I'm not saying that about transgender and stuff like that. So don't be trying to connect me. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that people will say things and stuff. And the more and more that you try to stand up for something that you said or stand up for yourself and stuff like that, less and less people you will see that will stand up for your good or stand up. People will sell themselves out for anything. It's hard to stand up to society. I mean, it's hard to stand up when the majority of people are saying one thing. The majority of people could go down a river of denial, you know what I'm saying, jump in the river, and most people will be like, they saying we all should jump in the river today. And you saying, and you look at the river and the river's on fire. You say, you see that people burning up in the river? You shouldn't jump in the river today. But it still be the majority of people will run because they see the other people running to the river without asking no questions and jump in. Okay, you're coming up in a time where the majority, you may be a minority and you may have to fight. Like, my personal opinion, I can't say because I've never been in that position, but Miss Pat said she fought, but then I listened to what Miss Pat said. Well, she shouldn't have put it. It was more like you saying you put yourself in a bad position by answering that question. But this is why I say about celebrity, and it's so hard because you got so many handlers, you got so many networks. But sometimes you got to stand up for yourself. You got to stand up for others around you. And it might put you in listen. It may put you in a bad place. You got to always pray. I mean, my personal opinion, is if you go into this realm and that Hollywood realm and you go into work into Hollywood, you always got to pray, because there are sometimes you're going to be called to defend people like just hilarious. Like me, I probably would have went all out. I probably would have said, BT, nah, wait a minute. Hold up. We partners in this show. I know you give the money, but I give the talent. Let's have a discussion about this. Let's have this and that. I probably would have went very hard, because I don't think she did anything wrong. And then my loud self, I probably would have came out. God would have had to probably hand on me. But God might have said, do it. I probably had to come out and say, BT, I don't think what you did was right. A lot of people want to be accepted in this Hollywood space. I mean, I saw some the other night. I'm going to tell you, I was a little funny. I was laughing a little bit about the Kris Jenner party. Should we go and talk about it? So I'm going to move out of this area, but shout out to Just Hilarious for standing up for herself. But let's talk about the Kris Jenner party. 70th birthday party for Kris Jenner. Now, I've even said I'm going to do a show on here one time about Kris Jenner, the things you can learn from Kris Jenner and stuff like that. Okay, Players Club. I mean, the player of players. But it is funny. I found it very interesting that every Black celebrity, not all Black celebrities, but a lot of the most powerful Black celebrities showed up at Jeff Bezos' house. I didn't see a lot of white ones. I didn't see George Clooney. Was George Clooney there? I didn't see Matthew McConaughey. I didn't see what's her name? What's the other girl's name? What's her name? The one who played Devil Wears Prada. I didn't see Meryl Streep there. I see that. Wait a minute. Let me go to her party. Oh my God, Black celebrity is funny. I don't know. It's something about Black. I don't know. Let's talk about it. Okay, they said even Meghan Markle and showed up at the party. Now, they said they quietly removed their party photos allegedly. Now, wait a minute. Meghan and y'all, how y'all want y'all party? Y'all supposed to be, this is an event I think y'all supposed to be at. Because y'all need to be looking like Hollywood. I said y'all need to lean into Hollywood. I don't know if I would have linked into them, though, the Jenners, okay? But, but it was, let's see. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see here. I'm trying to find. Listen, I'm telling you, Kris Jenner's doctor, I want to know him. Okay, when I get about, about 70. He did though. Did you see her? Lord. Well, I'm hoping God just give me that heavenly dust. I mean, not heavenly dust, like I want to go to heaven. No. Like sprinkle from heaven. I get that my face is naturally looking youthful. You know what I'm saying? It's naturally. Like y'all people be like, what? You know what I'm saying? When I get 70 people like, oh my God, you ain't had no work. You got that Kris Jenner? No. Child, just blessed. That's what I hope I get. But if I gotta go to Kris Jenner's doc, if I gotta go to a doctor out here, it'd be Kris Jenner's. Okay. Listen, yeah, everybody was at this party. A lot of Black celebrity. Tons of them. Let's see Entertainment Tonight's report on it. I mean, just they was everywhere. I didn't see nothing. Was white celebrities here? Because I hadn't seen them that much, except for Harry, Prince Harry. Okay, let's take a look.
3 tips for planning like a Kardashian style worthy party.
Call Mindy Weiss.
Okay.
a little shout out to Mindy.
There you go.
You know what? I think create a theme, decide, what the vibe is, how everybody's gonna come dressed, and we always have a theme. We always seem to get really excited.
Kris Jenner stepping into 70 in style, James Bond style.
Okay, they show mostly her
with
family.
and Lauren Bezos. The guest list featuring the likes of Oprah and Gayle, Bruno Mars, who performed, Stevie Wonder, Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, Vin Diesel, Justin Bieber, The Hilfigers, Chris Rock, Melanie Griffith, Sierra and Vanessa Bryant, Kathy Hilton, her daughter Paris, Meghan Trainor, Kyle Richards and Faye Resnick, Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan, longtime beau Corey Gamble, Tyler Perry, and, of course, her famous family.
I mean, but listen, it wasn't a lot of powerful white people, like the power, but it was all the power players of Black celebrity at this party, which is interesting, including Beyonce and Jay-Z, Meghan Markle, which is funny because a few years ago, they was all shamed, they say allegedly Beyonce didn't even want to go to her and Kanye's wedding, but now, I was like, is this some sort of motherfucking retreat, like a secret celebrity group, just some secret celebrity meeting or something? It just seemed weird that y'all all that play Kris Jenner's party. Like all the A-list Black people. It seemed weird to me. It seemed weird. Like there was some A-list white people, some white people, but not many that was A. Like you didn't see you didn't see Leonardo there. Was Leonardo there? No. Who else? You didn't see Julia Roberts and all them. They ain't doing all that shit. But y'all motherfuckers, why was y'all there? I'm trying to figure out. Some of y'all ain't even supposed to like the Jenners, allegedly. I mean, the Kardashians. It's interesting. And what kind of got me is because you can't get these MFs to even show up to honor like older Black celebrity. Nah, I'm about to talk about they funky ass, except for Stevie. Stevie did go up to Stevie does do that. But the young ones, like all the other Oprah, you can't get their asses. They show up at the when people are already A-list. Like be gracious when we already up in the A-list, okay? But Alicia, no, I gotta give it to Alicia. Alicia will honor people and stuff like that. But most of these motherfuckers can't show up to honor another person. They can't show up for the fucking awards all at once. The awards, the BET award. Well, I understand that. I mean, it's whatever award, Black award that's out there, you can't get their asses to show up, but you can all show up for Kris Jenner's birthday party. What the fuck is going on around here? Maybe y'all are in some sort of cult. Because a few years ago, the big Black celebrity stars was acting funny. Now you got everybody. Y'all even got Stevie out there at that mess. What is going on? It's so interesting. Black American celebrity is the funniest shit I've ever seen in a long time. I mean, not everybody was there. Now, you didn't see Holly Berry, you didn't see Denzel. They's like, damn all that. But Oprah and Gayle, what your ass doing here? Oprah and Gayle's there. Even Miss Tina, Beyonce looking like she's like, that's how Beyonce look. Beyonce always looks spaced out. Beyonce look like, and she had a face smile on her face like, they made me come. Woohoo. Beyonce did not look happy. Beyonce didn't look happy when I saw her looking at was she there to support Kelly Rowland? Beyonce, did you take any pictures with Brandy and Monica? I mean, Rihanna was there at the Brandy and Monica concert, and there's a lot of pictures with Brandy and Monica and Rihanna. Did you got some pictures with Brandy? And Monica, Beyonce? Why? Why? Yeah, I didn't see no pictures with Brandy and Monica. I know you was there for Kelly. I didn't see no pictures with Kelly. But she was supposedly she was at the concert in the audience and she was looking like, oh, this is over with. Beyonce looked like she was ready to just go home and eat bonbons. Beyonce, where's your pictures with Brandy and Monica? If you know, you know. I bet that was all awkward. But I digress. It was good to see you out, Beyonce. I want more of this for you. Like, I mean, show up at a Chloe concert or what is it? And show up by yourself. Can you do like sometimes by yourself, like a girl's girl, and be there like, Chloe, yes, you did so good. And be in the audience dancing. I'm trying to teach you how. You got to be a little. I think you're coming to the you try to do the old star thing, but it doesn't work for you. I think you're coming down. You're coming to where you're gonna probably have to be a little bit more realistic, or you might be able to. I mean, maybe there's getting ready to be a retirement. I don't know, but it was good to see her out being supportive of Kelly. At least I didn't see that. Was there other? I did not see the other pictures, but there were a lot of pictures with Kris Jenner and people. Oh. Hey, don't be mad at me. Okay. Because if you know, you know. And I didn't tell you know, you know. Moving on. I just don't understand why he was out at Kris Jenner's birthday party. Just wow. I'm still a little thrown aback. Like, why was I at Kris Jenner's birthday party? What's going on here? Oh, yes, it's wild. I don't know. Oh, well, let's move on to the next story. Okay. I would tell y'all the first trailer of Michael Jackson's thing looks great to me. Okay. Jafar looks like he's perfect to play Michael. I like the other guy who played Michael in the Jacksons years ago too, but he's probably really older now. But he was very good. The guy who played in the Jackson movie too. So okay, let's go to this next thing. Okay, Dion Cole told this wonderful. Y'all know I love me some Maxwell, and y'all know I love a funny story about Maxwell. Dion Cole was on Drink Champs and told a funny story about Maxwell. Maxwell, I would love to see Maxwell on Drink Champs. I don't think he would do it. I mean, you don't have to. I don't. Yeah, I would love to see him on there being interviewed by them. It would be funny and to answer like what happened with Dion Cole. Like, I would love him to show. Usually Maxwell shows these stories on his like when he sees something, he shows the story on his thing. But he hasn't shown this with Maxwell. Maxie, why haven't you shown this one? It's one of my favorite Maxwell stories. I think it's becoming my favorite Maxwell. Maxwell, we know you a Gemini, okay? Shit, we know you a Gemini. We know your Gemini ass be Gemini in it. We believe Dion Cole's story, okay? You should be showing this, laughing about it, okay? Okay, so let's take let me share this. It was very funny, so y'all take a look at it.
Went to this party. We got in there about 1 a.m. Maxwell in there. Chauncey was like, damn, there go Maxwell. He was like, yo, Maxwell. Maxwell had all these model chicks, right? He was at the bar. He was like, Chauncey, what up? Chauncey like, it's my boy Dion. He like, yo, what up, D-Ski? What up, man? Just yo.
When he said models, I knew he was telling the truth. Because I've heard stories that Maxwell about back in the day. Maxwell being what models. He like him a model, don't he? Let's go.
T-Ski, what's up, baby? Come on, man. Just grab a drink. Come on. Come on. Here goes some model chick. Here go the chicks and shit. And we over there in the VIP and just weed and drinks and shit. T-Ski, come on, take a picture. I'm like, all right, cool, Maxie. I got called up. I'm calling him Maxie and shit. I'm like, Maxie, I come. So we go over there, we flicking it up, drinking and shit. They're like, yo, let's go to another party. We went to another party. We hanging out. T-Ski, come here. I'm like, yeah, Maxie. We kicking it and shit. Went home, went to the room to the little model chick, man. I'm like, man, that shit was fly as fuck. Next day, I go out and I go to this party and shit, right? I go up in there. Who in the club? Maxwell. I see Maxwell. I'm like, yo. I walk up to him, Maxie. He's like, what? I was like, what's happening? He was like, who? What? Who's you? I'm like, it's D-Ski. He just walked away, dog. I'm like, oh shit. Like shit. Did not remember me at all, dog. And we hung out till about 6 in the morning, dog. The next day. It was the next day. Who I was. So I was in New York.
Hilarious. Proud of you by far, one of my favorite Maxwell stories. That is hilarious. Maxwell, we knew it was you. 2 things given away. For me, it does. I could be totally wrong, but 2 things given away for me. Models and T-Ski. I can see you doing it. I love this story, though. It's hilarious. Because I can see, I said, it's probably you met one of the Geminis. And we know you be Gemini-ing. He's so funny because Maxwell will try to give off. Maxwell gives you the innocent Maxwell. The days with the braids and the braid guy is very innocent, kind of like gives you a little innocent. But I know your Geminian ass was out there wilding. And I believe this story. Oh my God, I'm surprised Maxwell has Maxwell seen this story? Because I'm surprised he has not put this up or laughed about it or something. He has not said anything about this story. Maxwell, come on. I love you to go on Drink Champs, though. My God, because I think Drink Champs would get the most out of you than anyone. And not because you be drinking, because I don't think you would drink as much. I think I don't know if you drink a lot, but I think you would just be enjoying it and you would be so relaxed and laughing and talking about stuff. I think it would be so fun to see you on Drink Champs, because I would love to see Maxwell on something where he could get a little bit more personable. I think Drink Champs will be awesome. It would be an awesome interview. I want to hear this story, Maxwell. Did you this happen from your point of view? I am so surprised he has not shown this. He always, when it's something with his name in it and it's funny or something, he shows it. Maybe he feels like, I don't remember it. Was you funny in that? I believe you. We probably like, damn, I don't remember that. I love it. It was a cute story. Great story. Funny. Okay. Okay. Moving on. I believe in Maxwell. I believe Geminis. Okay. This is Geminis. All right. I told y'all, I have a lot of, when I growing up, I had a lot of Geminian girlfriends, and I still have 2 that I'm very close to. They have different personalities. They really do. The women do too. The men I have not known as much. I have not had a lot of Gemini men around me. I don't know. I've had a lot of Aquarians, but not a lot of Geminian men. I don't know. I don't know if I've had a lot of, I've known some in passing, but not, And one guy I dated years ago that was a Gemini. Years ago, okay? I'm going to tell you what he did. This is the craziest shit ever. Okay, so we were dating. we dated a little bit. We only went on a couple of dates, but we stayed good friends. I mean, he would call me over the years, be like, "Girl, what's up?" You know, blah blah blah. Be like, "What's up?" You know, blah, blah, blah. We had shoot the breeze, and he was always like a fun time, like cool, like a mug. I thought, you know, he was the Q, and he knew a lot of famous people. And he, you know, he had his own. I think he had a club or something. I can't even remember, but he, you know, he was a nice guy. We stayed cool though, but so like one time he was in town. I mean, like he knew all kind of people like Jordan. He was really kind of like popular in his crew and stuff, and which is very Geminian of it. And but I just didn't see him that way. You know, once I got to know him, he was so very like, I felt like he was very aggressive for me. So I didn't really like him like that. But we stayed cool. So he was in town. He said, "Girl, I'm in town. I'm on my way over. I'm hanging out. You know, we come over and hang out, stuff like that." And he knew my family, so he was cool. He's like, "What's up?" to my family and stuff like this. And I was probably maybe I was like 22, 23 or something like that. And we was sitting around and everything, and we was laughing and talking about different stuff. He said, "Yo, I got something to ask you." I said, "What?" And he said, "Do not take offense." I said, "Why would I take offense?" He said, "But we didn't." I just looked at him. I said, "Now you know who the fuck I am. Okay? Think about that question." Shit. I was hoping, but I knew I kind of knew. I was like, I know I did, but I didn't. I said, "The fuck? Why would you think you've been calling me out?" But his personalities, he has so many personalities. Like there was a friend that called me, but then there's a party guy who showed up at my house, but was still cool, but still in a party mode, and then didn't remember. Like if he had actually had sex, well, you know, you ain't had no sex with me. What the hell are you talking about? We had a couple times before we became friends. The fuck are you saying? Like, and you know how I am. I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl. Like I'm the 2 dates. No, that wouldn't be. You know, so it was very funny though. It was very funny. We still stayed cool many years, but he said, "You offended?" I said, "Yeah, kind of, because you would if we would have you would have remembered that." He said, "Shit, girl, you right." Now we start laughing. You know, I'm like, you know, we laughing and stuff like that. I said, "Shit, if I Scorpio, you would listen here. Okay, when you playing, you gotta be playing." But yeah, but I know Geminians, they can have that various nature, and my girlfriends do the same thing. Like one of my bestie girlfriends, I always used to tell people from 7th grade on up, she was a nerd a weekly nerd at school, doing her homework, blip, 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 you know. Very different from my Aquarius friend who didn't my Aquarius remind me a little bit of Geminis, but not a lot. In terms, they're more thinkers to me. Sometimes Geminis are thinkers too, but they're more deeper, complex more. But a lot of my Aquarius girlfriend, just to me, those wild personalities merge in together. They not separate personalities. Just they're just surprises in their personality. Surprises about them. But Geminis to me are very separate people. They compartmentalize their people and they know they're separate people. So my friend, who's like this nerd when we were in school by day. So by the time we're in high school, there's like, you know, they party, she kicking and everything. So one weekend we're all supposed to go do something and everything. And she, you know, I'm supposed to come to the house, and me and her were great friends. We used to hang out together, everything. All the time. So she gives me a call. We're about 18, 19 at this time. "Hey, Key. Hey, all right. I got to tell you the truth because I know how you are. All right. I'm over here. You know I love you. You welcome to come over here. You know, I know I said we was going to all hang out tonight and everything like that. But the other people coming, but you know they smoke weed, you know they drink, they party. It might get a little crazy, you know, stuff like that. I want you to know, because I know you ain't about that life. You know, you can come over here and hang out. I protect you. You know, I always will. But you know, I just want you to be aware. Blah blah blah. I love you. I will. You know, I want to see you hang out. But you know, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be lit. I said, baby, that's okay. We'll hang out. We'll do our thing next weekend or whatever like that. She just had those many personalities, and she knew that I wasn't conducive because her wild was wild. Like they were wild out, and I would have been very uncomfortable. You know, I was a hood girl, but I also sheltered myself from a lot of things because I was trying to protect some sanity in growing up in urban areas at that time and space, and you know, just protect myself from a lot of things. So yeah, she was right. And I always thought I loved that about her. And but yeah, because I had been in wild places right before and seen her get wild, you know, stuff like that. So I love that. But she had several different personalities. There was a smart nerd, and you would have never known that person was the same person. That it was completely several, and she had about 5 other people. She had the fashionista who was different. There's the fashionista, there's the partier, there was the nerd. And today it's the same way. Okay. She even has grown people. She still has compartmentalized personality and very bougie, okay, but still very much. My other Gemini friend who's church girl, same thing. Church girl, but partier. Church girl, but got this, got that, got that. A lot of party. It's a lot of things here. Okay, got a lot of things. So Geminis are fascinating to me in that way. They are my favorite zodiac besides Scorpio. They are because they are so freaking fascinating. It is fascinating to Pisces are that too. Pisces to me are kind of secret Geminians, but Pisces don't like to because remember Pisces have dual natures too. Remember they're 2 fish going in opposite directions, right? But Pisces don't like, to my personal opinion, admit they have those other things. Geminians are very comfortable with several different personalities. They're very comfortable. Now, Maxwell doesn't strike. Maxwell seems like he's uncomfortable in people knowing that he has those personalities. I believe that's because he is he's an Aquarius moon, and he's allegedly a Libra. I don't know if I believe his rising, but they say Libra rising. I actually think he's a Scorpio rising, but they say he's a Libra rising. So he probably is very balanced, and he's on that cusp of Geminian and Taurus. So that cusp probably calms him a little bit. You know, and I forget what his midhaven is. Is midhaven in Cancer or something like that? I can't remember. And his I can see he's a triple air. So and he has a stellium in Gemini. So I fucking believe there's a lot of personality, right? You know what I'm saying? Especially you got a stellium in Gemini. He has Venus in Gemini, and he has that Mars in Pisces. Oh my God. Wow. He would be fascinating. I'd probably be fascinated. I'd probably be interested to sit down in a conversation with Maxwell for 2 hours, and I bet I'd see 10 personalities in the course of 2 hours. I bet he could not stay steady. I believe this about him. I believe that. I believe it. And I believe the Mars and Pisces protects all the personalities because that's where the mystery comes in. The Mars and Pisces and some Scorpion in his chart protect. Some Scorpio is somewhere. Is it a 3rd house? I can't remember, but it protects all those personalities. So that's why we see the shades. Is that why we see the shade, these shady shades in the meet and greets? We didn't always see the shades in meet and greets. Shades just became the last couple of years of meet and greets. I'm interested in why he has the shades on also too. Certain people fascinate me, and he's a Geminian, so he definitely does. Geminians. I was fascinated by Prince. Prince wasn't my favorite singer, but I was always fascinated by Prince. I was so fascinated by Prince that I think I should have been a Prince girl. I mean, not because I was attracted to Prince, but I just felt like it would have been iconic. I would have been like, yeah. I mean, I would have just probably been there for personality study. Prince is so fucking, and he has that Scorpio rising too. Oh my God, Prince would have been like a study. Prince might have been scary though. Prince has some scary things to me too about Prince that used to be about Prince. Prince is an oddity. All Geminis are oddities to me, so they funny to me. I love Geminis. Geminis are the wildest. They're the wildest to watch. They're so fun to observe. I'm like, wow. As Scorpios, we're fascinated by Geminis, even though people say Scorpios would never date Geminis and be serious. They always say, but I know a lot of Scorpio Gemini people that have gotten together on the internet, which is amazing because Scorpios do not like to be, like, you know, we don't like. I mean, we waking up to 20 different personalities every day. We like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like that. But then there's a Scorpio like me who has Libra in my chart. I'm stellium in Libra, so I might laugh at that. That might be some sort of funny shit to me. Because I remember I was doing it. I was having a reading one time with an astrology. My astrologist was doing a chart thing for me. And she said, we were talking about signs. She was asking me what's my favorite sign besides Scorpio. She said, let me guess, because I can look at your chart and tell. She said, you like Geminis, don't you? I said, I love Geminis. But I don't have a lot of Geminian friends, but I do love Geminis. I'm fascinated by Geminis. They are the funniest shit to me. I mean, the sign is just crazy. It's a crazy sign. And it's, I'm surprised it's not considered a super sign, though, because they're really, to me, the magicians of the zodiac. They just are. I don't know how they're not considered like a super sign, like Aquarius, but in Cap. But they're very, they're very, and for Scorpios, very tricky. Scorpios can be very fascinating, but in relationships, I don't see how, I mean, unless you have some sort of a lot of air in your chart, Geminis will probably get on your damn nerve. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is interesting. I believe D.I. Cole. I don't believe D.I. Cole was lying. Maxwell, tell us the deal. What happened with this story? And have you seen this story? It's funny. It's hilarious. Okay. Okay, moving on. And remember, I told y'all somebody gave me this story years ago about the Brian McKnight story years ago, allegedly about him. I believed it at the minute I heard it because he's a Gemini. Okay, let's see. What else did I want to talk to y'all about before we get off of here? Okay. We talked about Kayla Nicole. There was another story I had for you guys. Let's see. Okay. Paul Pierce talking about cheating on your girlfriend to find out if she really loves you. Oh my God. Paul Pierce, how old are we? Paul Pierce is too old for this. I think he's just trying to go viral sometimes. Okay. So this is funny. Let's take a listen. Okay. See if we can pull this up for you guys. This story was kind of like, what? Okay. Let's listen to him. Wow. Mhm. Wow. Okay. So he's saying, how do you know if a woman loves you? Love comes within time. People know when people love. There are different forms of love, different experiences in love, and everything like that. I mean, this is crazy advice that he's giving her. I'm glad that girl kind of like went at him because that's crazy. It's crazy to say that. Very nutty, okay? Um, yeah, you can't, y'all can't take this. Y'all just can't take this that serious. I mean, that's wild, okay? Okay, let's move on to this one. Kevin Gates this week defends his 12-year age gap with girlfriend in Rent. Okay. Okay. Let's see what Kevin is talking about here. You calling her a young hoe? Wow. Okay. She's so young. That's how you know she's young. She's sitting there listening to him and saying that, and he said a nigga want a young hoe. He calling her a hoe. Oh my lord. We need more daddies out here protecting their daughters. Listen, first of all, his logic is dumb. All they're not all older women are not ran through. Just because you're 40 something and 50 something years old doesn't mean you're ran through. Some women have had most of their life the same partner or only one partner. There are women who have only had one partner their whole life. And there are some young girls in their 20s that have had 15, 20 men and been ran through. So I don't know what you're talking about. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, washed up bitch. Washed up how? There's some young washed up women too. That has nothing to do with age. It's more than likely if you're in your 40s and your 50s, you may have more sexual experiences, or more things like that. But most people, there are some women who are in their 40s and 50s and have not had as much sexual experiences as girls in their 20s and 30s. The psychological leaps that these men take to believe that they are manipulating younger women. Like sometimes you're not. Sometimes these young girls are very smart. I think you can shape somebody. And what you don't, if you're assuming that this young lady has not had any sexual partners or has not had any when she probably maybe has. Nobody is. You can have as many young girls as you want. Nobody's saying that you can't. but I feel sorry for her. She need to run. Somebody said fire famous said Brittany Rayner had more miles than a 97 Camry. You know what? He was just at the salvage auction. Now he don't go to the used car lot. Somebody said that's why dads are important. Shaking my head. Oh, greedy 23. I agree. Okay, I agree. And when I dated an older guy when I was younger, my grandfather did not know. I was like 26, maybe 25. I was about 24. No, I was 24, 25. He did not know his age. If he had known, trust me, okay. He would say, how old you? You just did not know. My grandfather said, "This, you get your old motherfucking ass out of here." That's my grandfather. Oh, motherfucker, who you trying to talk to? I know you ain't trying to talk. Who? Old enough to be having you my age. My grandma would have overextended. My uncles, he would have had everybody over. And back then, it used to be funny because I had my family, my uncles, and all of them, and I dated. They give them a talk because they're scared of people. Okay, so that's what girls need more of. That's why 26-year-olds are being taken advantage of with old men, because there are not enough older men out here are in those young girls' lives or in those girls' lives to be questioning like, who the hell is that? Or you have a little bit of fear of introducing your daddy to somebody like him. I couldn't, if the internet existed back 20, 30 years ago and I got on the internet with some fool saying this, man, I wouldn't have to worry about it. I would just say to him, I'll see you later. You won't be seeing me no more because I know I'm getting ready to hear it. My grandfather would have went off. Okay. Well, my grandfather would be very vocal when he didn't like somebody. So, yeah. And he's vocal when he likes someone. So I think that if women had more men in their lives doing that, you'd be less likely going after your father figures and stuff like that. Okay. So yeah, and this is probably a misguided look at, trying to go after father. Okay. 50, Vivica Fox tells women not to date 50 or any other rapper. Says it took her years to be able to laugh at the situation. I'm looking for Vivica, y'all. Hilarious. So she asked her what they said, yeah, during her time she was at Ultimate Women Expo, and they said, while doing her question and answer about what she tell her 17-year-old self, the iconic actress had the crowd weak when she warned ladies never to date rappers, especially her ex 50 Cent. And you know what? I really think Vivica liked 50. I just think Vivica just didn't recognize what 50 was. 50's a cancer. Oh my God. Cancer men are tricky anyway and moody anyway. Okay, so yeah, and I think she probably still broke up about that. But I like the way she jokes about it. Very funny, okay? Very funny. And you know what? I would tell, yeah, that's my 17-year-old self. God, what would I say? Oh my God, I'd have such a long speech. Mainly about money. But also about timing and time, and understanding your time in life. You think you got, listen, man, timing is everything. Can I say that again? Timing is everything. Time. Such a power, can be a powerful ally, or it can be your worst enemy. timing, everything. Okay, that's what we're gonna leave the show with today. Let me make sure I done came out with all the little stuff I want to talk to y'all about. Let me check one more thing here. I got all y'all. I got to do some. Yeah, I gotta get ready because I got papers coming up, child. Child, I got a lot going on. Okay, so let me see if I got see if I got y'all. I think we did. Okay, I think that's it, you guys. Okay, so listen, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy your week. And if we have any more hot topics this week or something, I'll come on and talk about them or discuss them. Hope I got all the hot topics. I hope y'all answered your question. I hope y'all wasn't mad at me that much about alienation of affection. My thoughts are very different on it. I think it's an antiquated law, and I think it should not be there. Okay. All right, you guys, thank you for hanging out. Remember, you can hit me up on the Carlotta Chat with Facebook page. You can also hit me up on X at Carlotta72 or C Chat with Show. Those are both the accounts. You can also hit me up on Instagram at Carly's with an S underscore Galaxy and TikTok, Keisha Carlotta. I'm posting, but I'm not posting as much. So sometimes I can be behind in the news. You're probably more likely to see stuff on the Carlotta Travel Facebook page. And if you have messages you want to send me or just shout out and say hi or whatever, the Carlotta Chat with Facebook page or Instagram is good to hit me up. Okay. You guys, thank you for hanging out. Oh my God, I appreciate you guys so much. And see you soon with when I have something else to talk about. We have some other thing to get on and discuss. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Okay. Let's see here, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, I'll be up here. I try to be smooth, but I didn't go out smooth. Okay. You guys, so I hope you guys enjoy the show. Have a good one. Have a good rest of your week. I'm going to leave out this electric music. Y'all know how we do every week. Got the electric sound going out. Oh goodness, what's going on here? Okay. Let's leave out with I don't know what y'all leave out with. Some song, okay? I'm out, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.